Good afternoon, friends. Welcome to the crisp greens of Clark LeClaire Stadium. We welcome you to the wonderful grounds housing some of the wildest patrons in college baseball. Number 9 East Carolina sits in the final pairing of the AAC heading into Amen Corner of conference play. The Charlotte 49ers have made the cut, but will need a massive performance from their offense on the front nine to capture a magical finish. And with that, we begin today's festivities on ESPN+. Welcome to historic Sir Petey's cabin here in Greenville, North Carolina with my partner, Mike Mullis. I'm EvanBudrovich. East Carolina's pitching dominant in the first two games. Mike, how does the number 9 team in the country complete the sweep?
You know, to continue to do what they've been doing all weekend, and that's going to be dominant pitching, and obviously continue to put pressure on this Charlotte defense that's had a couple lapses, a couple mental struggles. You
notice those defensive struggles. Let's dive back to yesterday because this third inning was a real difference maker. What could have been a double play ends in a big second inning rally.
You know, when we've heard Coach Woodard talk about it throughout the weekend, that's been a problem with this club all year is the mental lapses. And you saw it here, a mistaken out count, and the Pirates take advantage and pile on there 3 runs in the third.
3 straight hits there with 2 outs, and then Wyatt Lunsford-Shankman finished things off 4 scoreless innings. Just 1 run allowed by this ECU staff in the first 2 games. Truly dominant. And that has put the Pirates in position now tied for first with UTSA following those first 2 wins. How about this offense, though, for East Carolina? Riley Johnson, 5 hits in the series. He's been dynamic. What has he done so well at the top of this order?
You know, he's played his game. He had 3 hits yesterday, none of them leading the infield, but he uses that speed and the ability to put the ball in play, not afraid to have a 2-strike count, and he has been exactly what they need at the top of this order.
When we come back, we'll get you starting lineups and ready to roll on this Masters Sunday here in Greenville. Pirates and 49ers when we return. Welcome back to Greenville, where freshman Ethan Norby gets the ball today for the Pirates. He was really good in his last outing in the midweek against Old Dominion. 4 2/3. How about a career-high 10 punch-outs? How do the Pirates hope to replicate that with Norby today?
You know, Norby features that breaking ball that left on left is really difficult for the left-handed hitters. And we've seen Norby have a high level of success, especially for a freshman. Had the one bumpy outing with some shaky defense behind him. Otherwise, though, been really, really good for a freshman.
Here's Robert Woodard's starting lineup presented by Grady White Boats. An offense that has just 5 hits in this series. And one change of note, Bianchina will move to the leadoff spot. AJ in the DH role, and Noah Furch will slide in at second base. There's a lot of moving pieces in Coach Woodard's lineup today.
We saw Bianchina late with a pinch hit AB yesterday and led to the only run of the series for the 49ers. So Coach Woodard wants to get him back in there, and he goes to work early against the left-handed Norby.
Norby, who was fantastic Wednesday against Old Dominion. He might be on an innings limit today. Wouldn't expect him to go as long as the previous two starters. Root 5 innings and Yasavage 6 scoreless. As our home plate umpire, Matt Schaefer, asks for time.
And I think this may be part of the philosophy for the 49ers today is to try to slow Norby down as much as they can within the pitch clock rules.
Norby works at an elite pace, and Bianchina, who earns the start today, it's his first ever start in the leadoff spot in a Charlotte uniform. Just his 11th start of the year, and he'll take a strike.
And I will tell you, if the home plate umpire Schaefer is going to give him that pitch all day, it could be a long day for the Niners.
Quickly down on strikes and a good start for Mr. Norby. Even on the strikeouts for East Carolina, they don't throw it around the diamond. It goes right back to the pitcher immediately.
Yeah, and that's the trend in college baseball and really baseball across the game now is get it back to them and let's get it going again.
Here's Noah Furch, who will earn the spot at second base today. There was a costly defensive mishap yesterday for Shane Taylor, so he will exit and not appear in the starting lineup. Furch has hit in the 3-hole, the 2 spot, the 5 spot, and the 6 spot in the last 2 weeks. And this speaks to the analytic mind of Coach Woodard constantly manipulating a lineup.
And it also speaks to the fact that he can't quite figure out how this thing needs to look. And so the analytics are great, but at some point you kind of got to go with your gut as a manager when you're constructing the lineup.
Robert Woodard said this week, our mindset continues to develop at the plate. It's an offense that has scored big numbers at times, just averages over 5 runs a game. And there's a good start with 1 out, a base hit for Furch. It took Charlotte 14 innings to score their first run in this series. How important would it be to jump ahead in this one?
Yeah, it'd be a big deal, and you saw him there. He kind of hit through the shift. They had 3 infielders on the left side of second base to the Pirates, and Furch puts a good swing on that one, drives it right between the second baseman and shortstop who were playing just about side by side.
There's the first hit here in Game 3. And the power threat, Juan Correa, who's 0 for 7 in the series. Look to get his back going. Correa from the College of Central Florida, where he was a junior college national champ and MVP of that World Series just last spring. His teammate Thad Ector, who was part of that squad, not in the starting lineup today for Charlotte. He takes a big swing there.
A little different ballpark today than we've seen the first 2 games of the series, with the wind actually working out to right for the first time in these 3 games. So we'll see how that figures in. Again, Correa, 10 home runs, leads the conference.
Norby on 0-2. Challenges him down the middle and catches Correa looking.
Yeah, bottom of the strike zone, kind of hollow of the knees. Quality pitch there by Norby.
It almost is like Correa's looking for an off-speed pitch, and he just doesn't get it.
Yeah, and again, I mean, that's, if you could live there, you're going to be hard to hit. I don't care who you are and what your velocity is. And if you are put in play there, it's going to produce a lot of ground balls.
Here's one of the emotional leaders of this Charlotte club, Carson Bain, the junior out of Jacksonville. As an homage to Eminem, he recently dyed his hair bright blonde. He's got tremendous personality. He's been chirping with the jungle all weekend. This is a player who certainly wears his confidence on his sleeve.
We saw him yesterday with a nice diving catch out in left field, and been a good player for this Niners club. But again, a guy that they really want to see get going, hitting 267 right now, 31 hits on the season, but a guy that they lean on him for their success.
Same starting 9 for East Carolina defensively as Bain's down 1-2.
That's what Norby can do to you. When he gets ahead of you, then that breaking ball is something special. And when he could get to where he could throw that at will, it's he can make it very difficult on hitters on both sides of the plate.
A very energetic crowd here in Greenville on a getaway Sunday, wrapping up a 5-game homestand for the Pirates. Fresh off yesterday's 5,998.
What a big crowd and a big day in Greenville yesterday with the pig out and the spring football game. And
today looking to put the finishing touches on a sweep. Pirates have the fewest losses at home in college baseball right now, 17-1.
And a Charlotte team that has not been swept this year.
As Bain fights one off. If there is one area of the Charlotte offense to watch, it's the walk totals. As a team, they average 9.5 walks a game. That's in the top 30 in the country. But this weekend on the wrong side of 25 Ks from this ECU pitching staff. And add another. The two-seamer catches the inside corner. Quick work for true freshman Ethan Norby. And his number 9 Pirates come to the plate when we return.
No runs on 1 hit, no errors, 1 left on base after a half inning. It's Charlotte 0, ECU coming back. Thanks for the time.
Welcome back to East Carolina, where Adam Stanton, who took the ball yesterday, almost the ender of yesterday to the beginning of today, 2 innings scoreless, 6 up, 6 down, in what would typically be a very spot start here. How does Stanton give Charlotte a couple good innings today?
Yeah, I think the philosophy here with Coach Woodard and Coach Owen's staff is, he had a lot of success just throwing to weak contact yesterday, so he was very efficient in his two innings yesterday. So I think that's the thought. Run him out there, see how far he can get you. He was certainly pitching with some confidence yesterday, and that's something that that this Niner staff desperately needs.
Stanton faced the bottom half of the lineup yesterday, went 6 up, 6 down, and here is East Carolina starting attack, brought to you by Grady White Boats. A 301 average and scored 10 runs Friday, 5 runs yesterday. Riley Johnson, we noted in the open, a 5-hit weekend. And then Bristol Carter, 3 hits in the middle of the lineup as he moves up a spot today for Coach Cliff Godwin. One thing this weekend with the Pirates, it has not been a power-driven weekend. Johnson has the lone home run, but they have manufactured a ton of offense.
The same defensive alignment we saw them use against Riley yesterday that did not work out for them, him with 3 infield hits. So, but you still have second baseman, shortstop extremely deep. We saw him take a little drag bunt past the pitcher in kind of no man's land. So it'll be interesting to see if Riley takes a shot at that again here early.
Stanton works outside. He forced 6 ground ball outs of all 6 of his outs. Now, yesterday's game, it was a pitcher-friendly ballpark. 30-mile-an-hour winds blowing in. Today, a little more hitter-friendly with that wind blowing out to right.
You see the life on Stanton's offering there. It's got some pretty good arm side run, having a tough time getting it in the strike zone right now.
So now in a 3-1 hole to Riley Johnson, who takes all the way in a 5-pitch walk, gets things started. The free passes have been a real bugaboo for Charlotte this weekend.
Yeah, 8 by their Friday starter Reynolds. I mean, that was and obviously the relief corps that came in behind him. But that's been a big part of the story. And
that's the 15th walk of the series.
And, not just the free passes, but the free bases that have been allowed. We keep talking about that situation in the 3rd inning yesterday where the second baseman just forgot the number of outs, and it led to 3 runs ultimately for the Pirates. Could have potentially ended the inning, and that makes that a 2-1 game yesterday, playing the if game. But it's been the little things, as Coach Woodard alluded to before we started this series, that his team just hasn't quite figured out to this point.
So Carter Cunningham now digs in. A good start to his weekend, hitting 400 in the series.
I will tell you, Evan, what's a little bit surprising to me is, again, third baseman is in, taking away the bunt. I get that. Shortstop is pinching towards second base, and the arm action, the natural arm action of Stanton, the ball runs away, and these left-handed hitters are going to have to go that way for success. So that's an awful big hole over there on the side of the infield that just seems like it's a kind of natural for the run.
We've seen 4 or 5 opposite field hits from these Pirate hitters this weekend. Hitting against shifts. Charlotte is one of the higher shifting teams in this American Conference. And that breaking ball stays down to Cunningham, who now is riding a 10-game hit streak.
This is certainly not what Coach Woodard wanted to see out of his starter. And the fact that they turned Stanton, it has to make you wonder what they have available to them, in the bullpen.
A Charlotte team whose both starting pitchers have struggled to get out of the 4th inning between Chase Carson and Cole Reynolds. Stanton now becomes the 8th different arm in 10 weeks that have been used in this traditional Sunday starter role. Dangerous spot to be on 2-0, and Cunningham blasts one to center. Good recovery by Nolan, getting the start in center field. The true freshman tracks it down.
Yeah, Nolan, another one of those guys we saw come off the bench late yesterday with a pitch hit. AB gets a nod in center field today.
The one change of note, Noah Furge gets the start at second base. He's come off the bench the last 2 games. DeFranco's had a really good series at short. And then Stallman, the former shortstop, over at third the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, and back to Caden Hobson behind the plate as opposed to Lastris, who we saw yesterday.
Here's Jacob Jenkins-Coward, who's a very first pitch happy swinger. There's the second out of the inning. Johnson wisely gets back to first, and you see the sense of frustration there from JJC.
I would love to see him go up and work a count, and again, we've alluded to it all weekend that, he's a guy that has never seen a pitch he couldn't hit, but this 49er staff has figured that out, and they're kind of making him or allowing him to get himself out. Little hit run effort there by Coach Godwin, but popped up on the infield by Coward.
This is the DH, Ryan McChrystal. In this series, East Carolina clearly dominating, a 5-1 win and a 10-0 win. But half of those 15 runs have come with 2 outs this weekend. As a team, they're on the doorstep of 100 2-out runs. Tough team to get out in these spots. And this hard grounder should end the inning. Nice play there by Furch to wrap things up. Adam Stanton, between 2 innings yesterday and 1 today, has been really efficient out of the pen. And now we're scoreless through 1 inning. Welcome back to Greenville. It's been an amazing weekend attendance-wise, and yesterday the third largest crowd in East Carolina history. Although worth noting, a lot of those opponents are big Power 5, big names, but even for an in-state foe like Charlotte, nearly 6,000 on hand yesterday. This fan base continues to impress, not only with their attendance, but a very rowdy bunch that has brought the juice this weekend.
Another example of how quick Norby works, just in your dapping up the crowd. It gets to an 0-2 count pretty quickly.
This should be the first out if the catcher Wilcoxon can find it. Unable to hang on. Between a bright day and catching that late in the sky, I don't think he had a great read on it.
Yeah, and it kind of got up above the awning here, the covering, and wind pushed it back. Things spun back a little harder than he anticipated.
Sutrick tries the exact same thing, but more on the infield side. And Cunningham reads the wind at the last second to make the play.
Battling that sun, you're right. Big sky today. Very few clouds, and the ones that are there are just very, very light. So
they warn you not to stare at the sun, and sometimes you have to on an eclipse, like earlier this week. But
not a whole lot of choices there for Cunningham.
Today you kind of have to put up that hand and pray you don't get blinded. Brandon Stallman chops one in front of the plate. Norby with great coverage, and he'll play tag with the batter. Too quickly gone. Norby's an athlete off the mound.
Yeah, nice play by Norby to bounce over there and field that ball, apply the tag. You know, it's genetic. Obviously, a lot's been made about his brother Connor and the success he had both here as a Pirate and in the AAA part of the Orioles organization. A guy that a lot of people have wondered why he hasn't had that opportunity to get to the big leagues. But when you look at what the Orioles have in young talent,
in a loaded organization,
yeah, it kind of answers itself. A lot of people are saying that Norfolk team might be the best AAA team ever assembled.
That's what Baseball America put out this week. The #1 farm system this year in college and in pro baseball. Dante DeFranco, the senior, now comes in. He remains hitless on the weekend. And Norby's wasted no time today.
You know, that's a good sign, too. Velocity's where it normally is in that 87, 88 range, and him coming off of about a 70-pitch outing just earlier in the week against ODU.
Went 4 2/3, struck out a career-high 10 for the true freshman. Norby rocking and rolling here, 1-2. And he's dotting it up again. 4 punch-outs for true freshman Ethan Norby.
Boy,
and
what a
cruising through
what
2
a start.
solid.
I mean, it's amazing. Sorry, bud.
Norby keeping us all at loss for words with his great work. There are many ways to judge an efficient pitching staff, but whiff rate or strikeout rate is certainly one of them. East Carolina and Charlotte have really high strikeout numbers this year. When you're getting a K to swing miss at 30% of the time, good luck as a hitter offensively.
Yeah, I mean, you're taking a third of the at-bats away from the offense when you're getting those kind of strikeout numbers. That's pretty impressive.
This pitching staff for East Carolina, 3rd in ERA, then a pretty high strikeout total too. Just gives you a sense of how good college pitching is in a certain part of the country. That's a lot of SEC, American, ACC teams as we glide into the second half of this regular season. Number 9 East Carolina has dominated games 1 and 2. And now searching for back-to-back home AAC sweeps as Bristol Carter leads things off against Adam Stanton, who's been efficient the last 2 days. As that ball's ripped foul.
Just does miss a sheer double, maybe triple there for the speedy Carter.
You know, with his speed, you might be onto something there with the triple.
You know, that ball, if that ball were to stay fair with that amount of hook on it, gets in that corner, rattles around, anything can happen, but Carter can really fly.
Carter with 6 extra base hits coming in. And adds another. He might be pushing for 2 here. And a good single to get things started. Even the threat of his speed makes Spencer Nolan hustle in there.
Yeah, you certainly don't want to allow him to get to second base and takes a double play out of order. Here you see he just stays on it after pulling the first one, drives that one back through the middle of the field, and a little clean single. We'll see what Coach Godwin has in mind here with the catcher Wilcoxon at the plate.
The Raleigh native 2 for 6 this weekend. He's alternated between DH and catching duties for Cliff Godwin. And as you look at this lineup, it is murderer's row 1 through 5. He becomes the connector, if you will, to the bottom third.
You know, and the deal with him is when he starts hitting the ball out of the park, he normally hits multiples in a short period of time. Going to be a little bit more difficult against Stanton. Again, the ball wants to run away from left-handed hitters other than when he throws the breaking ball. So we'll see how they go about pitching Wilcoxon here.
Goes the other way. And that'll stay in the yard for Carson Bain. Just 1 home run in this series, and it was Riley Johnson on Friday night.
And again, the conditions haven't been favorable to hit the ball out of the park today, a lot more favorable than they have been. But you're right, Riley Johnson, again, who would have thought that coming into the weekend, that pick one Pirate to have a home run and it'd be Riley Johnson.
Not on my bingo card.
You know, I had all ideas you were going to go to a bingo card reference there.
I feel like my body is more of a 65-year-old in the mind of a 30-year-old.
There you
It
go.
all blends together. With Mike Mullis, I'm EvanBudrovich. Big swing there for Dixon Williams, the true freshman, who's starting to grow up in front of the hometown eyes in the last 3 weeks, earning the full-time starting job with an injury to Jacob Starling on the infield.
Yeah, we've alluded to it throughout the weekend, and the nice part, if there is one, to have a guy like Starling out, is Dixon Williams getting some time at second base, but more importantly, Colby Wallace getting a lot of playing time over at third.
Those two will hit back-to-back in Cliff Godwin's lineup right now.
You know, you look at it with Bristol Carter, Ethan Norby, and Colby Wallace in the lineup today, 3 pretty good freshmen that the Pirates can count on for the next few years.
Runner takes off. A little flailed liner to center. So there's the second out.
You know, sometimes when you see this effort to hit and run, it could also be just trying to get your hitters to shorten up a little bit on it. You know, Stanton is a bad contact guy. That's how he kind of makes his living, if you will. And, you know, when you shorten your hitters up, it's a little more direct swing and not necessarily trying to do too much with that action that Stanton has. We've seen Coach Godwin go to it twice already.
So Colby Wallace's turn with 2 outs. The aforementioned freshman takes a swing and a miss there. You see the numbers for Wallace, but struggled yesterday in the 5-1 win. Colby makes his 10th career start. Takes a good swing there, out of play. No easy transition for a talented freshman, but you come in right in the middle of conference and earn the starting job at third.
Yeah, and it kind of by default, but it's really worked out well for this Pirate club. Again, Dixon Williams has been more than a serviceable replacement for Jacob Starling at second base. He's actually played extremely well there. So it's worked out, and Kobe Wallace is taking the most advantage of his opportunity.
On 0-2, able to fight it off. That's big shoes to fill at third base. All-conference standout Alec Makarevich transferring to NC State. And there's been 3 or 4 different players earning that job at Wallace here in the last 2 weeks. A player Makarevich who had double-figure homers last year, 40-plus RBI.
And a Wolfpack team that goes in and wins a conference series this weekend against Clemson,
who had previously run the table in ACC play, had not dropped a series.
And for all the Pirate fans watching, that's a big deal for East Carolina as it relates to the RPI and your postseason map.
Currently 7th in the national RPI. And Wallace will work the count to 1-2. You get to the point of the year where, 1, your record's important, but 2, the record of your opponents and who they play starts to play a factor.
Right. When we've talked about Charlotte leaves here and goes back to the Queen City to play Clemson at the downtown ballpark, or as they say, the uptown ballpark on Tuesday.
As Wallace smokes an opposite field base hit. Look at the speed of East Carolina here going to third. And that's a big moment for the freshman stepping up.
Yeah, when he's had these moments all weekend where he, kind of looks like an at-bat may get away from him a little bit, and then he settles in and stays with his approach and drives that ball into right center. And, that's a good piece of hitting with 2 strikes, especially by a true freshman.
Here's a true freshman now up, the shortstop and Joey Barini coming up, who would love to get his back going this weekend. 0 for 7. Slides into the 9-hole today after hitting in the 6th spot this weekend. Well located there from Stanton. With 2 outs and a Cliff Godwin coach team, you do wonder if a squeeze bunt is in play here.
But everything's in play, and you got a pesky guy at the plate like Barini, who again is struggling, hitting only .215.
Barini off his hands to short, and that ends the inning. East Carolina gets 2 on the bags, but nothing coming against Adam Stanton in this pitcher's duel. Welcome back to Greenville, North Carolina, where the Charlotte 49ers, searching to avoid their first sweep of the year, have actually had some nice non-conference wins over Maryland, have battled their way through with Virginia Tech and West Virginia, a series win. But as you see right now, struggling on the road, 3-8 away from home, including 2 losses this weekend. Really, though, in this series, Mike, it's been the lack of offense. 1 run in the first 2 games.
Yeah, and the 3-8 is a tough combination against a 17-1 homestanding Pirate Club. It's been kind of a up and down year for the 49ers. They have had some success, but really had their share of struggles as well.
As Caden Hobson, the starting catcher, pops one out to center. As a coach, any adjustments you're looking for here just in terms of getting some runners on and creating action?
I tell you what, for the 49ers, you're looking for energy. You're looking for guys to stay in this game, knowing that hey, you hadn't been swept all year. That's something to play for. And Coach Woodard alluded to the fact that this team has been here before. This program has been here before, where they were sitting, kind of hovered around 500, found a way to get hot late, and played their way into the postseason. So there's still a lot for this 49er club to keep battling for. You just want to see the consistent effort on a game like today.
Won 5 straight games in the CUSA tournament last year to make a regional, and then upset a top 10 Clemson squad.
And toe-to-toe with Tennessee, so that it can be done.
As that foul ball nicks the mask of Wilcoxon. Here's the true freshman and Ethan Norby continuing to pound the zone against a Charlotte team that's very patient. 9 walks a game coming in, and what a snag by Wallace. Gets to his feet,
wow,
but just late.
Safe call. They're going to take a look at this one.
And Wallace said, hey, I made that play. I want to challenge
let's
this.
look at it. I'm not so sure. Man, this is a banger at first base. Let's take a look at it here. First off, great job by Colby Wallace. Lays out, gets to his feet quickly, makes a really strong throw. And let's see. Ooh. Man, I tell you what, that's close. And, again, that's going to be one of those deals where is there enough to overturn it from that angle? I don't know that there was. They'll get a good look at it several different ways. The other part of this conversation becomes the ball that pops out of Cunningham's glove.
I think that's the transfer, but I know what you're saying.
I think it's the transfer too, but I think we're going to have this conversation right now with the umpires. As they got together before, I think they're going to say
they're not allowed to.
Hey, well, I think they're going to say it came out before the transfer.
Okay.
Is what I would guess they're talking about. But we'll see. We should be able to pick up on something with some hand signals down there. You can tell Coach Godwin is listening intently and taking in all the information that's being offered. But I don't know if we could get another look at that. I don't know that that ball was secured.
Okay, they are going to challenge this.
See it here again. Just a rollover ground ball, kind of well placed.
Yeah, this will probably be our best angle here.
Wallace lays out. Let's see if this ball's caught cleanly and if the foot beats the throw.
I think the ball stays in the mitt long enough.
Yeah, there it's kind of lost there. Yeah, I definitely think that's on the exchange, so I think we can rule that out. Then it's just a matter of did ball beat runner. Let's lock in on that here and see if we can figure it out together. Man, I'll tell you what, I think he's out. Now, I don't know if there's enough there, but these umpires will get every look that we get. Little bit kind of slowing it down as much as we had to there.
And that's where wearing white kicks on a white base makes it a little tricky.
Yeah.
If those were purple or green, I think we'd get a much better look.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how this one goes. And I know that.
What a play by Wallace.
No, great play there. Great play for sure. And good throw. And
Charlotte has been dying for a break to go its way offensively.
And that's Nolan down the line quickly and. See it again here. Here's the point where
you're watching the right foot of the runner.
There's
ball and glove.
There. Yeah, I think there's enough to call him out. Well, again, this is obviously solely up to the umpires and what they see.
Calling the field is safe, worth noting.
This isn't like one of those situations in the NFL where they go to the replay committee in New York or wherever. This is going to be made over in the replay tent right here at Clark LeClaire.
All these angles you see is what umpires are seeing.
And we have seen calls this weekend reversed. We saw a play at first base reverse yesterday. So
that angle to me, you almost see the pop of the mitt before the foot hits the bag. And then you're kind of confirming it with this angle.
And I will tell you, historically, my theory is the longer that they review,
the more they overturn.
The greater chance that it's going to be overturned. They just want to confirm it. But That is just my theory. There is no science behind that. I think he got him, though, Ev. Again, I don't know which way the call will go on the field, but it looks to me like he was out. And I know that this 49er staff, again, like you said a little bit ago, they are desperately in dire need of a positive break, but we'll see what the umpire says as they come back on the field.
Here's Jeff Spizak, our crew chief. Overturned the call. What an effort there by Colby Wallace.
Makes that play even better, right? And like you said, Colby Wallace, there was no doubt in his mind. He felt like he had him, and now the conversation with the third base coach and a little explanation, and we'll get back to baseball with 2 outs here.
I think combining those 2 angles really makes the difference.
Big deal
on that one.
Big deal. Great job by the camera crew there.
So Norby now with 2 outs on the bump. Top of the Charlotte lineup. As that time, E.J. Bianchina holds up. The product of Lafayette, California, got his first hit of the series and drove in a run yesterday. Just 1 run offensively for Charlotte. The team that averages just under 6 a game coming in. And credit to this ECU pitching staff. There has been nothing easy for Charlotte offensively.
And I tell you what, Ethan Norby, I know he's 3-0 in this count, but he's made 3 pretty good pitches. That last one maybe the worst of the 3. Bianchina being very, very patient up there, looking to find a way to get something started for the 49ers with 2 outs.
Pounds the zone right back. Ethan Norby, 4 punch outs so far. Brings the 3-2 and misses up, so a 2-out walk. A Charlotte offense that's so patient. Only had 3 walks yesterday, 5 walks in game 2. That finally get a runner on.
Yeah, uncharacteristically in Zach Root's start yesterday, you know, he had more walks than strikeouts, 5-4, and that's a.
And he had entered the game with only 10 walks all year. That's hard to do.
Very unusual for him, but again, he hung around and gave his club a quality enough start to put him in a position to win the ball game.
He did end up earning the win, his 5th of the year. And there's a base hit for Furch, who's 2 for 2. You got to love it if you're Coach Woodard going to your bench and Furch stepping up.
Yeah, these are the things that you look at, and when your season's not going exactly the way you want, you lose the appeal over at first base, which, could have potentially scored a run there. Definitely would have bases loaded with 2 outs with your the guy that leads the conference in home runs coming to the plate.
Big swing for Juan Correa. Juan, who has a little bit of a swing and miss mentality at the plate in the eyes of Coach Woodard, but when he's hitting it, it's pretty well. 24 RBI on 10 homers, but hitless in this series. Gets hit by the pitch, and the bases are loaded.
So just that quickly, that little break in the action, just enough to change the rhythm of the inning, and we have said repeatedly that rhythm is a big part of Norby's success. So we'll see if he can settle in and go after Carson Bain here with the bases loaded.
Now batting left fielder, number 1, Carson Bain.
And now action warming in the East Carolina bullpen. You almost wonder, do you leave the freshman in to work through this, or do you go to your pen in this spot?
Yeah, when we said it before, he came off of an extended outing on Wednesday of this past week against ODU, where he threw, I don't remember the exact number, but right
pitches.
around, I was going to say 70, right around 80 pitches. So those things kind of start to add up. And again, I think the biggest point of this inning was the break there, and we know that Norby likes to go, and so he's got to refocus, and that'll bring Cliff Gowan out for a conversation with him, which typically when you see the skipper of the Pirates come out, that means the end of somebody's day. And it looks like Danny Bill is down in the bullpen and pretty close to being ready.
Yeah, that's the end of the day for Norby. So East Carolina going to its bullpen, one of its best arms coming in when we return. Senior arm Danny Beal enters out of the East Carolina bullpen. Not only one of the highly sought-after arms this year in a Pirate uniform, his 19th appearance. He's worked a ton of innings out of the pen, a bunch of different roles, but overall for Beal, he's a lifer on the mound, nearing 95 career appearances out of the ECU pen. And coming into this weekend, Kirby Connell, the left-hander for Tennessee, 104 appearances, but in terms of an arm that ECU trusts nationally, this is a lot of experience on the bump right now.
Yeah, Danny Beal's a go-to guy for them. We also saw him midweek in a little bit of an extended outing. And, you know, Danny's been working through some things, trying to clean up a couple issues that, that he'd like to fix. But, I mean, a guy that's been extremely reliable, competitive guy, and, 2 arm slots. And, I mean, the Pirate fans have certainly come to know Danny Beal fairly well.
So Danny Beal will enter for the true freshman. There's Norby. Enjoying a little recovery drink after the quality start, 2 2/3. Ooh. You just can't spell on the nice white pants.
Yeah, no. How about that? Well, the plan for Norby today was never to go deep in this. It was, maybe they would have probably would have liked for him to have gotten out of this inning, but we thought he was going to kind of be a one-time through the lineup starter, and maybe what you would even phrase an opener, and then give it to the pen, which is for the most part fairly well rested. Be interested to see how far Danny can take this thing, again, based on the fact that he had a 60-plus pitch outing, just a couple days ago.
So Danny Beal enters in a tight spot. Bases loaded, 2 outs. A Charlotte order that has scored just 1 run all weekend, and then comes the scrappy Carson Bain, the Jacksonville, Florida product. Beal misses down. Charlotte just 1 for 10 this weekend with runners on the bases. Maybe their best chance of the series right here. This is a real important at-bat for Charlotte. Have never led in the series. We noted in the open, one of the few teams in the American yet to be swept in a weekend set. Quality wins over Vautech in week 1. Right now, though, searching for offense. Off the hands and a right, over the head and in for a base hit. Charlotte finally gets a bounce to go its way, and a 2-run single for Carson Bain.
Yeah, Bain doesn't use much of the barrel on that one, just enough of the bat in general to kind of dump it into right field in front of Jenkins Coward, and 2-run score for the Niners. Again, the first lead of the series for this Niners baseball club, and such a big deal for them, especially we know that the bullpen is not overly deep for them, so any opportunity they had to get out front and now can open up and kind of play their style of baseball, and all this happening with 2 outs. We've talked about the Pirates' ability with 2 outs. The Niners showing they can do it too.
Big swing there for Johnny Sutrick. First hit with runners on. Only the second hit of the weekend for Charlotte. And it all starts with a 2-out walk and the single to hit by pitch, forcing the pitching change.
Be interested to see if they move Bain here. He is 4 for 4 on stolen bases this year.
And that one cold outside.
Not something that the Niners do a lot is steal bags, but in this situation, 2-run lead and trying to keep from being swept.
So Sutrick ready, and he fouls one off. You're right, though, not the hardest hit ball, but that's the kind of hit East Carolina's had a ton of this week, and Charlotte yet to do.
Yeah, we've seen some balls, just a bunch of infield hits between Bristol Carter and Riley Johnson, have both had a number of balls that were just well placed, and kind of turns other side of the coin there with Bain with the 2 RBI little Gorker there in the right field.
Runners moving on the pitch. And now a roller to Barini. Nice transfer to end the inning. Charlotte, however, gets 2 of its own on a 2-out knock from Carson Bain. 49ers looking to play spoiler here on a Sunday with a 2-run lead.
2 runs on 2 hits, no errors, 2 left on. Going into the bottom of the 3rd.
Every great city has a great university. UNC Charlotte is Charlotte's great university. With nationally ranked academics, game-changing research, and trailblazing students with the grit to change the world. We are Charlotte's great university. Come see what's great only at Charlotte.
The number 9 East Carolina Pirates, if they are to lose, it's typically in a tight game. 7 of those losses by 9 total runs. Right now, Charlotte up to a club that's been really good at home, 17-1. But now for the first time all series, Mike, hitting from behind.
Yeah, this is the first time that the Niners have led in multiple categories on the scoreboard, both runs and hits. And let's see if what the Pirates, what kind of adjustments they make against Stanton as he has now flipped the lineup going through the second time.
Here's Riley Johnson at the top of the order. Remember Stanton yesterday, 2 innings. He was really efficient, 6 up, 6 down. He's worked through a little more trouble today, but still getting the job done.
Yeah, and you'd have to feel like his outing is probably on the back end as well. They've got the pin up. The Niners pin is up and stirring a little bit. And you combine yesterday's labor with today's effort. You know, if he could get them through this inning and potentially one more, that would be a feather in their cap.
Here's pitch 43 between the 2 games. And it's a filthy breaking ball. Hadn't seen the changeup much today, but that was really good. So Riley Johnson in a 2-2 count. He'll test the shift defensively, and DeFranco's all over it. One of the few times Riley's been retired. He's now 5 for 9 in the series.
Yeah, I tell you what, DeFranco's played a really nice shortstop for the most part this weekend. We've seen him turn a couple double plays or be the starter on a couple double plays, and comes in nicely on the ball. Nice play there by DeFranco on the speedy Riley Johnson. No need to panic. Collect it and throw him out.
So Carter Cunningham works ahead in the count. Carter continues to hit the seams off the ball in this 10-game hit streak. His average now up to a season best, 390. And teams have been very selective, very breaking ball heavy approach against Cunningham.
Yeah, and I think that's the philosophy for Stanton versus these left-handed hitters. For the Pirates, we saw him start Jenkins Coward out same way last at bat.
Nibbles outside with the fastball, so it's 3-0.
You know, Cunningham's a guy that early in the year just seemed like couldn't get him out, and he was literally seeing beach balls up there, and kind of came back to earth and leveled out a little bit, but has certainly found something this weekend. He's had a pretty good weekend.
Good swing there from Cunningham, 3-1.
And he's a guy that is a huge part of the success, of this Pirate offense. And quite frankly, with his leadership skills and the things he does off the field, the homers for help and the homers that help for the Children's Hospital here, just a guy that's embodies the culture of East Carolina baseball.
And on 3-2, he fights it off. He has started a partnership with the local Maynard's Children's Hospital. Such a neat thing for these players to think beyond the 90 feet they play on. And here he is having an incredible junior year in the heart of ECU's lineup. Adam Stanton on 3-2. This is up, and Cunningham's on for the first time today. So Stanton now faces Jacob Jenkins Coward, who went after the first pitch, his opening at bat. Popped it up real shallow on the infield. Goes first pitch again. Good stab by Correa. Back to first and just late. Nearly a double play.
Yeah, great effort by Correa. Good turn in the middle there by DeFranco. Just not quite fast enough. That's 2 at-bats that Jenkins Coward has had and 2 pitches that he's seen. See the diving play by Correa, throws from his knees. Again, nice turn by DeFranco, just not quite quick enough to get the speedy Jenkins Coward. Another one of those Pirates that can run.
It's a big inning for Stanton, getting through the heart of the East Carolina order. And now it's Ryan McChrystal, the starting catcher. If you're Robert Woodard, you have to love the effort here from Stanton so far.
Yeah, he's been really good. And, started off a little bit shaky, leadoff walk to Riley Johnson to start the game. But since then, has settled in pretty nicely, allowed a couple of hits, but nothing real noisy.
Stanton, who lives on pitching to weak contact, he's given up the 2 hits, but this may be the type of arm where a team can take note of how to approach an ECU lineup.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting. He still has another one of these 49er pitchers that has 23 strikeouts and only 22 innings pitched. So, averaging 1 an inning. But you're right, his his bell cow, his best attribute is that soft contact.
Here's more soft contact to right. That has some carry on it, but will stay in the yard for the center fielder, Spencer Nolan. Charlotte puts up 3 zeros from Adam Stanton with a 2-0 lead. Busy week in the American Athletic Conference. East Carolina with a win yesterday has now matched UTSA in first place, and then the fight for third is pretty thick and really interesting. Even Charlotte at 4-7, not out of that top 4 position just yet. You really, from a playoff standpoint, want to stay in the top 2 to get that early bye and then give yourself the best chance to go deep in the tournament.
Yeah, I hope we see a Masters leaderboard late this afternoon that's that jumbled.
Scotty Scheffler, Colin Morikawa grinding it out. I think they'll start around 2:30, so here in no time. A tournament unlike any other, and here in the American, a conference unlike any other. Brandon Stallman, who grounded out to first, will work ahead in the count. Stallman, one of 3 returning starters. He's been solid defensively this year, but Coach Woodard noting trying to re-up his offense from a really productive junior year.
Danny Beal showing a little emotion out there, a little frustration, having a tough time finding the strike zone right now.
He's given up runs in his last 2 appearances. And that time, not even close, a full pitch walk. And you kind of hear it, you sense it in the ballpark a little bit with this pitching change.
You know, Danny's a guy that they really need to get going. And again, he's been really good at times. But then you see these types of little glitches in outings where the command just isn't there, and throwing for multiple slots and kind of trying to feel for it. So this Pirate Club really needs Danny Beal to get going. Be interested to see here with a 2-run lead and the light hitting DeFranco at the plate, what they decide to do.
Here's some small ball, and DeFranco pushes it foul. Phil Sebahar, the third base coach. This is an offense in Charlotte. We've noted the high walk totals, good stolen bases. Not a team that traditionally lays down the sacrifice. Only 4 sack bunts all year. So DeFranco tries it again and works an even count.
You know, part of that is when you're playing from behind, you don't find yourself in situations where it makes sense to lay one down. Kind of interesting evolution in the game, too. All the offensive players for the 49ers wear the watches that have the offensive play calls. So the third base coach is basically directing traffic, and the offense is coming from the dugout.
DeFranco gives this a pretty good ride to left, and he'll stay in the yard for a loud first out. Still shocking to think we have just 1 home run this weekend.
Yeah, and I think that'll change the day. Again, the wind's out to right, and it's the first time we've seen the flag pointed that direction.
Next up for the 49ers, the catcher, number 9, Caden Hobson.
So here's Caden Hobson, who has alternated duties with Renee Lastris behind the plate this weekend. Hobson, the returning starter out of Redlands, California. One thing with Hobson, he is elite defensively. Second in Charlotte career fielding percentage behind the plate at a .997 clip. On this side of the ball, a career .227 hitter. But has had a nice month of April so far. Beal having trouble with that patented breaking ball.
Yeah, breaking ball gets away from him there. And you see Danny a little slower to the plate that time, changing his looks, trying to keep the runner a little off balance at first base. Danny's a little bigger leg kick and a little slower to the plate than what you would typically think of out of a reliever. But that's to allow him to try to be as effective as possible with that breaking ball.
Runner moving, and there was a swing there, maybe more of a self-defense act than anything else.
Yeah, but
okay, so let's say a hit and run's called there. That swing is more of a I need to protect my runner?
Yeah, I think that's a straight steal, to be honest with you. I think this is just a breaking ball that Hobson I just don't want to quite go. If he's hit and run swinging there, he's letting it fly regardless. That's one he just kind of held up and was maybe sitting on a pitch and got the breaking ball with the straight steal on.
Instead of man at second now on 1-2. Beal gets some chasing again. But hold on, there was contact there.
Yeah, caught a little piece of that one.
East Carolina's pitching staff, third in the country in ERA coming in.
Hobson with all the braces you could possibly get, or protective gear that you could possibly get.
He goes the other way. This will test the outfield, and a nice running catch for Bristol Carter. There's some elite speed on that left side of the outfield.
Yeah, the entire outfield really have. They can all really run.
Now back center fielder number 23, Spencer Nolan.
That's a true freshman out there in left, who has crashed into a wall this year in the outfield. He's made some amazing plays.
Looks like we're going to get a pinch hitter for the center fielder, Nolan.
So Reed Hare, who has split duties out there in center, he gets the at-bat.
Another true freshman.
Hare from nearby Pro 5 Academy, the Raleigh version of Pro 5. We've had some neat alums here recently. Eli Serrano at NC State, Gavin Gallagher at Carolina, and Trent Harris now in the Giants AA system, all playing baseball in the Raleigh nearby region. He goes after the first pitch, and this will stay in the yard for Carter to end the inning. Danny Beal with a scoreless fourth out of the ECU pen as we continue Game 3 of this series.
Summary for the 49ers.
Yeah, welcome back. News and notes. Rice's Correa walk-off double to beat UAB in a crazy 15-inning game yesterday. 14-4 win over USF, and we got a good one going here at Clark LeClaire Stadium between the Pirates and the 49ers on Masters Sunday.
Thank you, Mike, for helping me out there.
Gotcha, buddy.
What a week in the American. You think about, too, now, the tie for first, UTSA and East Carolina, both 8-3 in the league. As that pitch will groove in for a strike. East Carolina has won 4 straight regular season titles, which now, as we hit the third or almost halfway point of conference, a game like this is so important for Charlotte and ECU today.
Yeah, a team looking for a home sweep and a team that's never been swept. Not this year anyway, so yeah, it's a battle. It's what you expect this time of year in quality baseball, and both these teams with postseason aspirations.
Carter attacks the pitch. Good stab at third. Stallman recovers and makes the play. We've seen some nice third base glove work from both teams today.
Yeah, really good play by the former shortstop Stallman down there. Kind of ball smashed at him pretty hard, and it's the only way he has a chance to get Carter. No panic, recovers the baseball. Then you see Carter take a little spill here. Hopefully he's okay.
Looked like he exerted himself so hard to touch that base.
Yeah, kind of kicked the front of it and tripped him up.
He put that around turn 4 at a NASCAR race, and I'd spin out in the final lap.
Tell you what a nice and I would think unexpected outing they're getting from Stanton to be in there this I say deep, we're only in the fourth, but pretty deep for a guy who we saw in relief yesterday.
Threw 2 innings scoreless yesterday on 12 pitches. Good foul ball there from Justin Wilcoxon.
You know, and it's not just the competitive pitches that count. He had to, get himself loose and all the things that go into getting prepared to come into a game like Stanton did yesterday and then go back through his routine today. So, yeah, really a valiant effort to this point by Stanton.
The Iowa Western transfer has never pitched 4 innings in his Charlotte career in a single outing. This coming off short rest, too. It truly is incredible.
I wonder how much that relationship with Coach O being an Iowa Western alum and them landing Stanton.
Michael O, one of the youngest pitching coaches in the country, former Carolina Arm himself. He graduated just 3 years ago, took a GA position 2 years prior, elevated to an assistant, and now the lead man with Robert Woodard guiding his pitching staff.
When Coach Woodard also talked about his staff and how close they are and how his desire is a lot like what you've seen with Cliff Godwin and the staff here at East Carolina. Coach Woodard wants to keep that staff together.
Almost
nice effort in left field. Wow, that was a great effort. But he wants to keep the staff together for as long as possible. And, you got Palumbo and Coach Godwin have been together for 10 years, and that longevity, that stability is something that Coach Woodard is envious of and wants to model his program after.
Coach Woodard noted Brian O'Connor at Virginia as a key influence, both how he develops staffs and how he continues to win consistently. We've seen Charlotte 3 years make a regional in their first 5 under Coach Rob Woodard. Another foul ball to fight it off.
And Pirate fans obviously very familiar with Coach Kevin McMullen, who's at UVA and has been on Coach O'Connor's staff for a number of years now, a guy that's had opportunities to go elsewhere, but, likes his situation at UVA. It's been great for his family and a place that he calls home.
Here's Stanton on 1-2. That ball's just foul.
Tell you what, the Pirates really aren't getting off many really good swings against Stanton. That's kind of a reaching, got around it kind of off the end of the bat, foul ball. And I'm telling you, they are giving the left side of the infield is wide open with only the third baseman playing a kind of standard shortstop spot there.
A lot of room to operate and a good strikeout there for Stanton, who gets his 3rd K. And to your point, he's kept these hitters off balance all day.
No question. Matter of fact, they had the third baseman so far over on the shift that when Hobson came up to throw the ball around, it almost looks like he had to find him a little bit. Coach Godwin talking to Dixon to kind of slow things down, let his pitcher Danny Bill catch his breath a little bit longer.
Well, this is on the verge of 6 innings scoreless over the last 2 games. Something Charlotte has not done very well, slowing down this ECU offense. So now it's Dixon Williams' turn with 2 outs. Gates gives a drive into this one towards the corner, and it's down. Extra bases for the true freshman, Dixon Williams.
Good piece of hitting there by Dixon. Not sure exactly what Coach Godwin said to him, but whatever it did, whatever he said worked. And Dixon deposits his ball into the right field corner, not quite getting down into that triple corner, but
he said, hope the pitcher throws it middle and don't miss.
Yeah, really. Nice play by the right fielder to keep it out of the corner from rattling around, and Dixon cruises into second base with a 2-out double.
That's his 4th hit of the series and a couple of doubles at that.
Another one of these 2-out hits.
The Pirates, who are 0 for 1, only their 2nd at bat with men in scoring position. This ball will sneak through. An infield single at that, and it's 1st and 3rd.
Really headsy play by DeFranco there. He knew he had no chance at first base, but kind of carries out the arm fake, takes a look back at Dixon Williams to see if he had taken a little bit too much of a turn and fires it to his third baseman. Nothing doing there. Nice play here. You see him lay out, gather, a little arm fake, and look backside.
That saves a run. If
absolutely, absolutely.
Some elite shortstop work here.
He really has played a nice short this weekend, and that kind of explains as to why he's in the lineup with the kind of the offensive numbers that he's got.
Joey Barini up with 2 outs. He swings and misses. East Carolina, when it comes to 2-out hitting, they've been really good this weekend. 5 2-out runs. Today, not as many chances against stud reliever Adam Stanton. Who gives up hard contact, foul. East Carolina's been knocking on the door the last 2 innings, but have stranded 4 today. Stanton dives one in the dirt. Good stop by Hobson back there.
Yeah, great play there. And both runners take an aggressive look at it, realize Hobson picked that one fairly cleanly.
This private crowd coming alive here in the 4th. 2 on and a 1-2 pitch. Just tipped.
I think that got a little piece of Hobson's hand. Got him off what you call the meat hand, the throwing hand of Hobson, right off the thumb. But, you know, this might be a time where you take a shot at still in the bag. Right now, that thumb of Hobson's is gone from hurting to numb to back to hurting. So we'll see if Coach Godwin and those guys take note here. And there's a lot of conversation going on between Dixon and Cliff Godwin down at third base.
Best rally of the day for the East Carolina Pirates. Here's Adam Stanton working ahead, 1-2. Another foul ball. That time got a piece of the umpire as well.
Yeah, Matthew Schaefer is the victim of that foul ball.
We've seen in this game Charlotte work really good 2-strike at-bats, resulting in a 2-run third. That's been the difference. A rare moment, the Pirates have trailed in this series and almost got a run back.
Yeah, that one nearly got away from Hobson. And you may start to see the innings mount up on Stanton a little bit. Tough at bat here by Joey Barini to this point.
East Carolina wanting to add a broom sweep this weekend. Won the first 2 in dominant fashion, but here's Charlotte up 2. And a drive from Barini that is foul.
I mean, he doesn't miss that one by much. Well, that probably 6-8 feet to the right of the foul line. Foul pole, fair pole, whichever one you choose to call it.
And Hobson knew it right away. He was hoping for it. This would be a huge out for Stanton on the bump. And maybe a backbreaker if you're ECU able to keep this thing rolling.
Big shift. I mean, the second baseman is as far over as he could possibly be, playing short right field.
And now a full count, no swing.
Good job by Barini to hold up there. Key part of that is it's 3-2, 2 outs. That'll get the runner from first moving. If Barini can drive a ball here,
so Stanton threw 2 innings yesterday. Now in his 4th inning on the starting role today. Could be his final pitch. Here's the 3-2. Barini forces another. One of the better at-bats today for Joey Barini, who's hitless on the series.
You know, when this UNC Charlotte staff is aware that they want to get this guy, this flips the lineup back to the top to Riley Johnson and crowd. So the Niners desperately want to get Barini at the plate.
Another 3-2 pitch. Another foul ball. This at-bat now nearing double-figure pitches.
You know, and again, something that the Pirate hitters pride themselves on: tough at-bats, quality at-bats. They have metrics that dictate what makes it a quality at-bat, and this has certainly crossed over into being one of those.
It's the longest at-bat of the day for an East Carolina hitter. Let's try it again on 3-2. Pitch 11 has popped up, and that time out of play.
You know, and interestingly enough, as I look down at the Charlotte pen, There's somebody playing a little game of toss, but again, nothing that appears to be highly urgent.
Gives you a sense of how important this at-bat is for Stanton, who's working his 6th inning of the weekend, yet to allow a run. Here comes pitch 12 of the at-bat. And Baraney fights it off for a baker's dozen. Puts some pimento cheese sandwiches on a platter, and we got ourselves a good battle here brewing. It's been a rough weekend for Baraney at the plate, 0 for 8, but putting up a heck of a fight here in this 4th inning. And Stanton's matched him pitch for pitch.
All a matter of who's going to cave first.
How about pitch 13 for fun? Down. Very close, and the bases are loaded.
What a great at-bat by Joey Baraney. I know Stanton wanted that pitch, and understandably so, but that pitch appeared to me to be down, and great at-bat.
And what a difficult take. You're fighting off 4 or 5 straight, and then to hold off on that one.
No, good at-bat there, and strike zone command, man, it's such a big part of being a good hitter.
And now a chance for the bullpen to warm for Charlotte.
We've seen these team meetings on the mound by Charlotte all weekend.
The relievers are ready for the 49ers, just in case. Let's see what Rob Woodard and Michael O decide.
Looks like they're going to stay with Stanton, which just seems like a kind of a risky proposition again as they flip this lineup. So this will be the 3rd time that these guys have seen Stanton.
It's Riley Johnson's turn with the bases loaded. He works ahead in the count. East Carolina has stranded 4, and this is their best chance of the game.
You know what, it is worth noting that Riley Johnson has had a home run on the weekend.
Another foul ball. Stanton continues to pitch well to weak contact all week.
You know what, that's another one of those kind of defensive swings in an offensive count that we've seen the Pirates have. I mean, when you're, as a hitter, when you're in a plus count, a 1-0 count, 1 ball, no strike count, that's an opportunity to get off a really aggressive swing, and that one was just an attempt to make contact.
The 1-1 is drilled to right, late adjustment, and over the head of Sutrick. 2 runs in. Riley Johnson clears them all with a 2-out triple.
Another bit of 2-out magic for these Pirates, man. They are as good as anybody. 2-out production. We saw a great at-bat in the prior at-bat with Joey Baraney that set the table for Riley Johnson, and we wondered, was it a good idea for Stanton to face the top of this Pirate order again for a 3rd time? Difficult or defensive swing early by Joey Baraney, but he puts a good one on that one, and I mean, hits an absolute laser right at the right fielder who does all he can to make the play, but it's
you play with fire long enough,
you're going to get burned.
And now Charlotte forced to go to its bullpen. Riley Johnson, 6 hits on the weekend, and what a swing there with 2 outs.
You know, we've seen him have all variety of hits, infield hits, home runs, and now a triple off the wall to plate 3 RBIs.
So Rob Woodard making the call to his bullpen. New arm coming in when we return. East Carolina back in front here in the 4th. So as we went to break, there was some words exchanged between head coach Robert Woodard and the home plate umpire, Matt Schaefer. Woodard not very pleased with that pitch that was called a ball in the previous at-bat.
Yeah.
Okay, he was ejected from the game.
Yeah, he gave the universal ejection sign there for sure. It looked like Woodard was still hanging around the dugout a minute ago. There he is. He's got his bag. He's offered some last-minute advice.
And worth noting, Adam Stanton is still in the game.
And it looks like now they've made the call to 32 who will enter. The team will come out and get Stanton. And as Woodard was coming off, one of the things you see with the coach who's trying to get his team going, he yells in the dugout kind of the come on, the rah-rah speech, and I think that's probably got as much to do with this as anything.
So here's Ryan Deggs to enter out of the pen. And for Charlotte, you give a ton of credit to Adam Stanton. Maybe one batter too long, but here's Deggs now into the game, the Knoxville product. No easy task. 15th outing this year. Yet to appear in this series. And you're right, if you're Coach Woodard, you're trying to almost inspire your players with that moment.
You know, when we've seen this out of Cliff Godwin in the past, now there's some conversation that Coach Godwin is having with the officials or with the umpires because of the way that trip was handled. That was a trip that was made with no pitching change made. He gets ejected, and then you basically make a substitution from the dugout. So I'm not sure how that's going to play out, but obviously that is something that Coach Godwin has concern about because there are pitch limit.
Does that count as a meeting?
Yeah, that count as a meeting? How does this go down in the books? This is one of the things that baseball gives you that very few sports do, where there are the rules that govern the game, and this is one that you can kind of get lost in the fine print.
And here's the parent at the parent-teacher conference waiting for the explanation.
Yeah, somebody's going to have to tell him something. But to your point, I think when Woodard gets ejected there and he turns to the dugout, tries to get him going, he's trying to find a spark, and he's saying, hey, guys, we got to fight. It's a 3-2 game, and it's kind of a 50-50 as to how that works out, man. I've seen it where, it becomes too much of a distraction. I've seen it ignite the team, if the coach has been ejected. But we'll see how it shakes out for the Niners here in this situation. Cliff Godwin still not completely satisfied with the explanation, but
looks to me it'll be just one meeting.
Yep.
And then back to this at-bat for Riley Johnson. What a clutch swing.
Yeah, again, great swing. Drives the ball right over the head of the right fielder and plates a couple guys, and all that seems to be forgotten in the excitement that happened in between innings here. But I think Riley will be credited with a double and an error there because the ball got away as it was coming into the infield.
That is correct. Officially a double for Johnson. That being said, a huge spark for East Carolina. Now Ryan Deggs, who allowed 6 runs against UTSA a week ago. No easy task now against Carter Cunningham and Jacob Jenkins-Coward back-to-back.
And a great rule of thumb here is you're probably going to get some type of get-ahead pitch, and Cunningham's probably sitting dead green. Now when you go 95 non-competitive, it's kind of easy to lay off.
Is that sitting dead Masters green? Is
that
Masters
green?
Field green?
No gold there.
Playing
all green.
Charlotte green? A lot of greens this weekend. As we sit a few hours from Augusta, Georgia, the golf capital of the world this week. Carter Cunningham, who has 2 hits on the weekend, looking to secure an 11-game hit streak. Instead, watches strike 2. Excellent numbers for the Pirate 2-hole hitter. And Cunningham's been just off on a couple of swings today.
Yeah, we've seen Deggs pretty good velocity there, 94, 95. Kind of buries that 94 in on Carter.
Another 1-2. Cunningham ropes one down the line, and it's fair. Back-to-back hits with 2 outs for the Pirates, and Cunningham turns it into 2.
Yeah, another Pirate drives the ball off the wall. That one skips, and bounds in about the Chick-fil-A sign. Good piece of another 2-out, 2-strike hit. I mean, the Pirates just continue to excel in that category. See that break the ball down a little bit. Carter stays with it and drives it right off the bottom of the Chick-fil-A sign, like I said.
Isn't Chick-fil-A always so good on a Sunday?
Ended up well, if you could get it. If you could get it.
That's 8 2-out RBI this weekend for the Pirates. Now Jacob Jenkins-Cowart, as all of a sudden the bats have come to life. Now, how important is that 3-2 count going back to Barini a moment ago?
Huge deal. And the at-bat in its totality, 13, 14 pitches for Barini. So, yeah, that's a big deal, and that's why they work so hard on it.
Jenkins-Cowart 0 for 2 today. Now he has a 2-0 count.
Kind of a rarity to see Jenkins-Cowart pass on 2 pitches.
Yeah, he saw 2 pitches in his first 2 at-bats
That's
total.
correct. He's already doubled his total for the day.
The left-hander hitting .350 with men in scoring position this year. That's the best on the Pirate roster. Puts a good drive into this one out to right center. Nice effort from Hare to track it down. East Carolina comes back in front with a 4-run rally here in the 4th. Welcome back to Greenville, North Carolina. This series, first time in nearly a decade they've met as conference opponents in the AAC. East Carolina has dominated all time, 36-5. And as you see at the bottom there, 7 years since Charlotte's last victory in this matchup. Charlotte had the 2-0 lead early, but East Carolina with 4 runs last inning. It's been such a short time with leads for the 49ers in this series, and now top of the lineup. Bianchino's had a good day, a walk and a strikeout now up. And one of the rare times Danny Beal has entered with a lead out of the pen.
Yeah, let's see. Pirate Faithful wants nothing more than to see Danny Holder Bianchino with an effort at a bunt there, trying to get something going.
Beal, who entered this game top 5 in appearances in the country in terms of pitching outings. Ryan Mullen of LMU has 20. Beal has 19. He'll work here on 1-2. Oh, that slider, if he can locate it. Beal's got the shimmy. He's snorting up there. A lot of body movement. Relievers are just different breeds of people. There's always something going on with the body movements, the shakes, the tremors.
Yeah, it's a certain mentality that the guy that thrives in that position.
Misses up and a walk. Kick starts the 5th inning. From an emotional standpoint, this is a very important inning if you're Charlotte.
Yeah, and that's the last thing that Danny Beal wanted to do is come out and allow the leadoff guy to get on via walk. You got a 2-run lead. Your team just scored 4 for you. You want to come out and have as quick an inning as possible, get back in the dugout. So a ground ball here will balance things out if you can get a double play.
Now Noah Furchu's a perfect 2 for 2. And head coach Cliff Godwin noted this week, wanted to get Danny Beal some extended innings, one from a confidence standpoint, and 2 to reacclimate his stud relievers. Here comes the pitching coach, Austin Knight.
Yeah, and the Pirates have somebody going. I would say on that last pitch, that thing seemed like it had to have crossed the plate at some point. We've seen some strike zone concerns out of both dugouts here lately with Coach Woodard, head coach with the Niners being ejected in the last inning for apparently making a comment as it relates to his disapproval of the strike zone.
Just a quick meeting there with Danny Beal, fourth-year senior. You can smell the sunscreen. You can get a feel for how great it is outside. I need a lawn chair. That's what I need right now. Instead, Beal back to work for a Pirate club that's 17-1 in this ballpark, tied with Arkansas and Texas A&M for the best home record in college baseball. And Furch has a 2-0 count.
You know, you kind of get the feel from Danny right now that he's almost kind of wishing it over, you know, instead of committing to the pitch and executing. And that happens, you know, when pitchers kind of get in those funks.
He's unable to locate that time.
I mean, you could see there Wilcoxon set up down and in, and Danny misses all the way across the plate and up.
So another 3-0. It just sounds like a Sunday at Augusta here in Greenville with the birds chirping.
Yeah. You know what? And I was getting ready to make a comment. I hear you.
The patrons having a good time.
It's kind of low key today for a normal outing here at Clark LeClaire.
Outstanding weather for Game 3 of this series. And Furch will earn the 5-pitch walk. So back-to-back free passes for Danny Beal.
And again, you hear the groans from the patrons. They're certainly not thrilled to see 2 free passes issued by their closer or by their bullpen arm. And it's been a little bit of the frustration that the fan base has had with Danny, some of Danny's outings, and that'll bring the skipper Cliff Godwin out. Looks like he's probably going to make a move here. I actually have no choice after Austin Knight just came out.
That's a quick outing for Danny Beal, who entered in the 3rd. So East Carolina going deeper to its bullpen here in the 5th inning. Couple of walks forcing the pitching change. We'll have plenty more baseball when we come back here in Greenville. Former weekend starter Jake Hunter has pitched a ton on Sundays this year, both in starting and relieving roles. Now comes in here in the 5th inning, 4 1/3 against FAU in his last appearance. Was really good with just 1 run allowed and And now Hunter's sort of a bridge reliever here to get up to the back end of the pen.
Yeah, you know what? I feel like if he goes out and does what he's capable of doing, this may be his game to go the rest of the way. And that's a comforting fact of having Jake Hunter down there. We have seen him have the extended innings. We've seen him in the starter role. We've seen him kind of just about everywhere you could be on this pitching staff. So, you know, him being down there, I think a lot of confidence in this staff to be able to hand him the baseball, and they at least feel like he gives them a really good chance to get this thing into the late innings or maybe even close the door here.
A Charlotte club that remains without its head coach, Robert Woodard. He was ejected last inning, so Toby Bicknell, the associate head coach, will take over. You see Tony there. Oh, now we got to find the right game ball. Get a little dirt on it, rub it in.
I first met Toby in his time at Wingate back years ago, and little tie there, former assistant baseball coach here at East Carolina, Alan Osborne, went to Wingate as the head baseball coach for a period of time, and then Jeff Gregory, who's there currently, took over, and Jeff has had tremendous success in that program and won a national championship a few years back, and Jeff's one of the
2021
really
up
guys.
and carry.
Yeah.
World Series there.
You think about, we talk about Division I baseball here in the state, but you think about the Division II success that's been had between Mount Olive and obviously Wingate. Just off the top of my head, two programs that have
North
had.
Greenville last year.
North Greenville, yeah, that's right, that's right.
It is two states that love college baseball, that's for sure, any level. And these in-state foes meeting today with Juan Correa now up. Goes after the first pitch. Gives this ball a pretty good drive to center. Hold on a second. Running catch for Riley Johnson.
Just Riley Johnson being Riley Johnson out there. I mean,
smoked.
Yeah, not quite as dramatic as the other fence collision he had a few weeks back, but another one that Riley Johnson goes back on. I mean, what a great play, great route. Got to beat on it the whole way. Knows that here's the warning track, and okay, boom, padded wall. Boy, I'm glad we got the pad out there, and nice play by Riley Johnson. If that ball's pulled a little bit or pushed a little bit the other way, this could be a really interesting situation.
Instead, men at the corners for Carson Bain, who has a hit today. Bain back up the middle. That is not caught, but turns into a double play. Wow, great glove work between Williams and Barini there to turn two. And the run does not score because of this double play right here, Mike. Great effort from the Pirates to keep it a 4-2 game. East Carolina fresh off a huge 4-run fourth, and it really starts right there. That was a 13-pitch at bat, followed up by a couple of 2-out hits.
Yeah, a pitch that Coach Woodard didn't like. Great at bat again. Barini to be recognized in his effort, and then Ryan Johnson with the big hit off the wall. see here, that's when Coach Woodard is sent to the showers.
He was really fighting for that 3-2 pitch because that would have ended the inning. Instead, 4 runs later, it's now 4-2 ECU. A double play so big a moment ago, keeping it a 4-2 game.
Yeah, that was an interesting kind of little top spinner, kind of a weird-looking ball there. I thought Dixon Williams called it cleanly, but went ahead and turned it to be safe.
I think the runner at first was pretty confused, too. Instead, Ryan McChrystal will lead things off here in the 5th against Ryan Deggs, who can amp it up to 94, 95 at times. But he's been inconsistent out of this Charlotte bullpen this year. Does have a 2-to-1 K to walk ratio. Forces weak contact here from McChrystal. Oh, that wind is nasty, and Stallman couldn't squeeze it. As the ball drops in for a hit?
Yeah, you know what, I got a question. We talked about what a great job DeFranco's done at shortstop. I mean, as he saw his third baseman battle with that ball drifting back towards the bag at second, it looks like DeFranco had every opportunity in the world to call him off. I know Stallman was adamant early, but then it kind of gets past DeFranco's area as well, and the ball drops in, and Stallman looks at his pitcher and says, hey, my fault. Give me another chance.
That wind's been blistering all weekend, and now it's blowing out dead to right as Luke Novak comes in to run. Here's a man with plenty of speed, Bristol Carter. He looks to bunt. And a great back pick there from Hobson.
Yeah, a little fake break down there by Nowak to kind of draw the interest of the infield. Hobson picks it up in the corner of his eye, takes an opportunity to possibly pick him off.
You see Coach Palumbo having conversations there with the runner after every sign. Just a bit of wisdom as Carter now up. An ECU offense that came in scoring just over 8 runs a game. They lead the AAC in offense, and it's been a 4-run fourth, the big difference. So from a coaching standpoint here, looking to put this on the first base side, correct?
Yeah, you know, with the speed that's out there, it really doesn't have to be too fine. I mean, it just, you know, no pop-ups, just get the bunt down.
Runner takes off. And the catcher had a bit of confusion there, so a stolen base.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things. Kind of the fake bunt steal to where there's just enough distraction of the hitter with the bat in the strike zone to cause a situation like that. It's kind of, you just want to hold that bunt pose a little bit longer, allow your guy to steal second, and now you've got a chance to go back to being a little more offensive.
That's 44 stolen bases for the Pirates this year. Ooh, way up and tight. That's how you teach it.
Yeah, 93 around the top of the strike zone. A little bit uncomfortable to try to bunt.
You think now with the pitch clock as well, the coaches have to be so efficient getting those signs in. The clock's now at 7.
And that's part of the explanation of going to the signed cards. It's going to be a tough play.
Stallman rips one to first. Good foot placement there from Furch for the out. Back to that sign point, though, you're right. You got to make the decision and then relay it quickly.
Yeah, and you know, it used to be you go through a series of signs and you may take something off and then put something else on and kind of, you know, almost like you're communicating, talking to your guys in a secret language, if you will. Now it's a number call. It's a 3 number, 512, 341, whatever the, you know, correlates on the.
I'm a Morse code guy personally.
Well, that's kind of similar.
Rub some note cards in different directions to get that across. The sign right here is ripping one to first. Good snag by Correa. Probably a wise play there, too, to not go to first and create a little more damage.
Yeah, this ball gets in on Wilcoxon a little bit and kind of a soft liner to the first baseman. If it gets by him, it's trouble, but not really hit hard enough to cause any harm.
5 2-out hits this day for East Carolina. They've scored 8 runs with 2 outs in the series, and now it's Dixon Williams. Who scored the first run of the game last inning for the Pirates.
Yeah, the big double. Last AB saw the double last night.
Taking a strike to even the count.
He looks back at the umpire, wants to know, was that on me on the swing or was that on the pitch?
Quickly behind. Williams had a really nice weekend. Now 4 hits at the bottom third of this lineup.
You know, this seems to be the situation the Pirates like to be in. 2 outs, 2 strikes. Tremendous amount of damage they've done throughout this weekend in these counts.
Williams chops one into the ground. And that wraps up the 5th inning. Man stranded for East Carolina as the series finale remains a 2-run game.
The summary for ECU bottom of the fifth. No runs for 1 yet, no errors. 1 left on after 5.
Welcome into Greenville for Game 3 of this series. Game summary brought to you by Grady White Boats. Good start for Adam Stanton, but one big inning, that 4-run fourth, the difference for the Pirates. Meanwhile, for Charlotte, continuing to struggle with men in scoring position. But Carson Bain had a nice 3rd inning to kickstart the attack. And now typical starter / long reliever Jake Hunter will now continue his relief appearance. He'll face the middle of this Charlotte lineup. This is Johnny Sutrick popping one up. Bristol Carter lost his cap, and that's okay. He's able to hang on for the catch. That wind is really playing some trouble out there.
Yeah, and it's probably half of what it's been all weekend. Still a nice little steady breeze out to right.
Now it's more of a comforting breeze.
Yeah.
Keeps it cool and beautiful out there. Here's Brandon Stallman. And he pops up the pitch, so that wind will be tested again. Barini dancing, hanging on with some contact with his second baseman. Yeah, it looks like Barini caught it. Wait, no. Wait, did Dixon catch it?
No, Barini caught it, but it appeared to be to Dixon. It was kind of like the play before for Charlotte. That ball's drifting towards Dixon Williams, and you see Barini's making the call, ball. You see him talking about it, and Dixon's like, okay, I'm going to stay over here, but I'm not convinced, and that thing's coming my way. Marini catches it. Dixon was just there to help his buddy out, not quite convinced that he had it.
He eased his fall to the ground.
Not quite convinced that he had it.
And how much of that is paying attention to the last inning?
That's just instincts too, and they're talking about it right now. That's just one of those deals where, typically you'd say you got to communicate. There was a ton of communication going on, but there was some late action on that ball. Again, the wind affecting it, the spin affecting it, and Dixon Williams felt like, man, I need to stay here and help my buddy out. Nonetheless, the out's recorded. Everybody appears to be healthy, and there's 2 outs in the inning.
Certainly nice for Barini, the senior, to say, hey, freshman, you're going to lay down, and I will politely fall on you like a pillow. Dante DeFranco, the shortstop's turn. He rips one down the line. DeFranco with extra bases. And a 2-out double kickstarts this 6th inning.
Yeah, DeFranco gets off the schneid, and again, we've lots of talk about the quality defense he's played there. He takes an opportunity to show that he can swing the bat too. Drives that ball to left field for a single. I'm sorry, double.
A well-hit ball. First extra base hit of the series for Charlotte. Boy, that's hard to fathom. 1 extra base hit in 3 games after being no hit on Friday. Here's Caden Hobson. An ECU pitching staff that came in 3rd in the country in ERA, and they've only surrendered 3 runs.
I started to mention in Hobson's last at bat, but he's got every piece of safety equipment, if you will, possible. The extension on the helmet, the elbow, the hand guard,
the oven mitt,
ankle guard. Yeah, he's got it all.
As Hobson jammed foul. I don't think you could add anything else, right? Equipment-wise in baseball?
No, he's got it, right up to the glasses. But it's one of those things, if they'll let you wear it and it gives you confidence, and maybe you feel like you can dive a little bit at a pitch, and if he hits you, it's not going to end your season. Why not?
Jake Hunter working on 1-2.
The funniest one to me is when you watch the Little League guys with oven mitts, but they can't slide head first by rule.
Right.
So it's kind of, but they see their
college buddies doing it.
Yeah, their college or big league heroes doing it, so they're going to have one.
There's the oven mitt from DeFranco over at second. And now a 2-2 count. Runner moving. And a good read on the chopper there for Williams to end the inning. East Carolina defense remains flawless this weekend, and the Pirates up 2 on this getaway Sunday. Welcome back to Greenville, North Carolina, where ECU has one of the longest home win streaks in college baseball now. What Carolina's doing at Chapel Hill is really impressive, regardless of conference. And 17-1 at home. They'll look to continue that today, and then back at home for the next 5 coming up. You start to wonder now, as you rank number 9 in the country, how vital it is to maintain home turf and be a top 8 national seed. I
can tell you this fan base and this ball club definitely likes being in the friendly confines of Clark-LeClair Stadium every chance they get. And, man, you think that figures huge into the postseason plans of Cliff Godwin and the program.
A program that's won 4 straight regular season titles. On paper, they're in a great spot, RPI-wise and seeding-wise, to at least be a top 16. A lot more to be determined here in the next month as Colby Wallace takes a big swing.
And I will say, having been here for that Texas Super Regional, the atmosphere was absolutely electric. And even through a really extended rainout in a game that looked like it had gotten away from the Pirates, boy, the fans came back in about 10:30 on a Sunday night and packed this place out.
Pitch misses down to the true freshman. Yeah, right now in the latest D1 and Baseball America poll, they have East Carolina as a top 8 seed. That means you host all the way through. A lot to be determined, of course, but that's a good sign resume-wise if you're Cliff Godwin.
Well, you would far rather be there at this point in the season than on the outside looking in. So now it's a matter of this Pirate Club has to continue to take care of their business.
Now a 3-2 and a good fastball. Challenged in there with 94 from Ryan Deggs.
Yeah, Deggs came right at him, and the young freshman, 2 hits on the day, but that one was a little bit too much for him to catch up with.
Good pitching outings today from Stanton and Deggs. This was the strikeout stuff we talked about with Charlotte. Averaged 9 Ks a game as a staff. But that strikeout is only the 4th for a Charlotte pitching staff.
Yeah, the Pirates have put together tough at-bats off of them. No at-bat any tougher than Barini in his last time up.
So Barini grounds out. There's 2 gone by. And pardon me, only 2 strikeouts for the Charlotte staff, not 4. Because if you're Charlotte right now, you want as many at-bats in a 2-run game as you can.
Oh, no question. When Riley Johnson comes to the plate and he's having a weekend like he's having, we've seen, again, the home run. We've seen a ball off the wall in his last at-bat. We've seen infield, but you just wonder what he's going to do. And there he, kind of takes advantage of what we're talking about, squares and shows. And, again, the middle infield's playing so deep, it's kind of a situation if you can get it past the pitcher, he could have another infield single.
I'll stay up and away. He puts so much pressure on an infield with his speed at the plate. You combine that with a 6-hit weekend. There's really not an easy way to defend this guy.
Pretty good frame job there by Hobson to pull that one back to the strike zone.
That's an All-CUSA catcher from a year ago, framing it up. Now he looks to steal a strike at the bottom of the zone, but doesn't get the call.
When you see different schools of thought as it relates to catching now, Hobson and the entirety of the Charlotte catching staff goes with the thumb down, the web down. It works from the bottom up in an effort to bring those pitches back. And it's become such a big deal in Major League Baseball that catchers are getting graded on strikes that they're buying, that maybe wouldn't otherwise be called strikes due to their glove work.
That pitch misses inside, and that's a Salvador Perez special. He led MLB last year in defensive strikes saved. And it's interesting seeing that trickle down to the college game with these catchers being more mindful how they receive the pitch.
And I'm going to tell you to be able to do that, you have to have elite hands back there. I mean, there's a lot going on in the way, to catch that baseball on the way up and present that target or present that caught pitch into the strike zone. So Hobson's done a nice job of it, and it has been a lot of fun to watch back there.
Here's Carter Cunningham up with 2 outs. And 2 to 3 years ago, the new age system was the one-leg receiving, being a little more wider base. And you're right, now it's more about framing bottom of the zone pitches.
You know, and as a former catcher, that was something we were never taught. I mean, to go down to one knee was just was an absolute no-no, and you kind of saw that evolve into knee savers when they showed up, the wedges that went on the back of the shin guards, and, you know, that was a thing for a while. Now the athleticism displayed by these guys is impressive, and he's going one knee with a really good runner on first base, so something that he works on is throwing from that position.
And the durability to do it, in this case, a 56-game season, but in the pro level, 130, 140 plus for most catchers.
Well, you know, and these college guys, will play here, and then once their season winds up, they'll go play summer ball, get another 50 games in. So, I mean, it's still a long season, but you're right, not the 162 that the big leaguers have.
Runner takes off. Here's a chance to fire it down a second, and got him. Great work from Hobson behind the plate, and this should end the inning.
Yeah, it doesn't like there's going to be any desire to review this. Coach Godwin going out to get Riley's gear. And
with that, we'll go to the 7th. Nice effort from Caden Hobson behind the plate. Gunning down a really good runner, Riley Johnson. We've noted the strength of East Carolina's staff. Well, the bullpen has matched the starting pitching this week. I mean, the entire staff surrendered 3 runs, which is hard to fathom, but only 1 run surrendered for the bullpen, and now it's up to Jake Hunter the next 3 innings.
You know, the optics have not been quite as clean for the bullpen if you're just sitting watching the game, but the numbers speak for themselves, and you're right. I mean, the bullpen has done what they needed to do. They've been better than serviceable. We saw Danny Bill with some struggles today, and but all in all, Jake Hunter has been effective since he entered the game.
Charlotte, 2 runs in the 3rd, but not much else as we start the 7th. This is Charlotte team that has 4 come-from-behind wins when trailing in the 7th, including 2 of those in the conference. And a nice series win over South Florida. A Charlotte team that has yet to been swept all year long. It's in danger here in the 7th. Jake Hunter, fresh off a 4-inning outing at FAU, now in his 3rd inning today. Of course, his weak contact is 2nd. It's been a busy day for Dixon Williams over there in the 1st out.
You know, been a busy weekend for him. He's we talked about it earlier in the broadcast. He's had several really good plays and been very steady over there, replacing Jacob Starling as he rehabs his injury. It's going to be a tough question to answer when Starling's back, you know, available to go. Kobe Wallace, 2 hits on the day. Dixon Williams has banged it around pretty good. It's going to be interesting to see how Coach Godwin handles that.
Certainly a good luxury if you're East Carolina.
You know, and I think a big part of it is the fact that it gives you another right-handed hitting option in Kobe Wallace. that could be a big deal against left-handers down the stretch.
Top of the Charlotte lineup now with Bianchina.
And some of that might not be the necessarily success against left-handed pitcher, but the fact that teams play matchups so much, you may be able to influence them in moving a pitcher when maybe they wouldn't like to otherwise when they see a right-hander on deck.
And at this time of the year, as you look to build out your 35-man playoff roster, it is important to have that versatility. Bianchina, a couple of walks today at the top of the Charlotte lineup. His first game hitting leadoff all year. Taken all the way. Swinging 3-1 and a pop-up. This is going to be an adventure. Nice recovery from Barini there for the second out.
Well, I can tell you, in just watching Colby Wallace go back for that ball, his chances of catching it were not going to be very good. He was kind of running with his glove out.
Twisted, kind of a turning.
Yeah, kind of looked like a little leaguer caught in a Chinese fire drill out there. But you'll see him here, gloves up, and I'm trying, guys. I need a little help, and his buddy Barini calls him off and says, "I got you, young fella." The senior over the freshman makes the catch.
You have to love the freshman enthusiasm, but then a little bit of
let me handle this.
Caution to the wind. Let the old guys come in and make the play. So 2 quick outs for Jake Hunter. Noah Furch has been a bright spot. 2 of the 4 hits today for Charlotte. We don't say this too often. 9 combined hits in a 3-game series. Furch 2 singles and a walk. He's been on consistently. By the way, those 9 hits would be a season low in a series. They surrendered 10 hits against Ryder week 1. Well, that was all the way back in early February. Here's Hunter on 1-2. And a pop-up should end the inning. This time the young guy's calling for it. Those pop flies are never easy today.
Everything's interesting when it gets up above the stadium.
Wallace makes the catch and a scoreless 7th. Some scores around the American today. South Florida, they've lost the first 2 to Tulane. They want to bounce back. And a big score note, UTSA, who's tied for first with East Carolina, in an early position. That game, of course, in the 4th inning. There's a lot of work to go there. You have 6 teams within 2 games of first place. This league is far from decided. And one man who may have his footprint on an all-conference type of season, Carter Cunningham, leads things off. He had a solid sophomore year, but now the consistency in year 3, he's put himself on the map.
Yeah, he
year 4, right?
Yeah, he has definitely figured it out. And Coach Godwin describes him as playing very free and just enjoying his opportunity his senior year. And
wow,
right
enjoying that swing to right. And Cunningham with his 9th bomb of the year.
You know, a little lower, that would have been free tacos. That's right over the hit it here and win a taco. But a Carter Cunningham bomb there to put the Pirates up another run.
The breakout senior year continues for Carter Cunningham.
You know, he's a guy that early on in his career kind of struggled to find his identity inside the program and where he was going to play. And we've seen him in the outfield, all 3 positions. We've seen him obviously at first base a lot this year. But Carter Cunningham has been a true difference maker for the Pirates this year. And again, fine young man on and off the field, a good student as most of these Pirates are. And, you know, could be happier to see him have the success he's having.
Has anchored this lineup along with Jacob Jenkins-Coward, who chops a first pitch ground out. That's 3 outs on 3 pitches for JJC today.
Yeah, he got a couple pitches in his last at bat, but that's he's going to work early in counts, and that's kind of become the book on him. I think here we'll look back at Cunningham's blast and ball down, and that kind of hot spot for most left-handed hitters is down and in. Cunningham takes advantage of it.
With that trajectory, you're onto something with a Taco Bell.
Yeah, it was dead up. I mean, right over it. Right over it. Didn't miss it by much.
Here's a pitch hitter and a fan favorite in Greenville. Cam Clonch will sub in for the Pirates. Opportunity for Cliff Godwin to go to his bench for a senior veteran of Mooresville coming in.
You know, the player in Clonch has done everything that Coach Godwin's asked him to do. He's a really good athlete. Came in here as a two-way guy with the possibility of pitching some, and has played everywhere in the outfield and first base, much like Cunningham. But a guy that is a really good athlete and has been a really good bat for the Pirates off the bench throughout his time here.
Clonch has talked about on local radio and even across town the struggles of not playing as much as a senior as he did early in his career. But his ability to bounce back and be a team-first guy as there's a strike.
That's a big part of the culture here with Coach Godwin and staff is the selflessness they show, and Cam embodies that for sure.
Clonch gets his first at-bat of the weekend and fights one off. All under the vision of that man, 10th-year head coach Cliff Godwin, who has been extremely pleased with his club coming to form here in the last 2 weeks. Searching for a 3rd straight conference series win.
You know, in the world of the transfer portal and all that is in college athletics, a guy like Cam Clonch, the athlete he is, the baseball player he is, the fact that he's stayed here and accepted his role with this club says a lot.
Clonch, who gets a foul ball tip off the mask there of Hobson.
And we'll see one of those trips to the mound by the umpire to let Hobson clear the bells a little bit. Catch his breath.
Those just sometimes you lose your breath. You kind of get thrown off there more than anything else.
Yeah, you know, if I'm going to get hit, though, hit me in the mask. You know, I mean, I've got plenty of protection there. And
so senior Cam Clonch gets a pitch hit opportunity here for the Pirates and works a full count.
Another one of these Pirate hitters that works the ABs. He's got himself to a full count.
And Clonch earns the walk. You can sort of hear the resounding applause from this Pirate Nation after a one-out walk there.
Yeah, and he is a guy that is a fan favorite for sure. A guy that, again, the Pirate faithful have come to know, and a lot of people throughout different periods in his career have wondered why he didn't play more and why he didn't get more opportunity, but it just never fit in the opportunity for what Coach Godwin had planned for what the team was going to do. So we'll see the Coach O make a trip out, and
Coach O has the walkie-talkie in his hand, which I always find interesting.
You know, it's kind of strange to me to say Coach O and refer to somebody other than legendary East Carolina coach. Well,
Coach
to me,
Overton
Coach
too.
Gary Overton, yeah, the doctor, Coach Gary Overton, who's down just a booth from us. But it's strange. This Coach O has certainly a bright future ahead of him, and again, youngest guy in one of the youngest guys in college baseball in his position. two really young pitching coaches on each side of the field here. But I guess, if it's all relative, he makes Coach Knight for the Pirates like an old guy.
2 under 30 young, bright minds. And both staffs that have done nice jobs this year. Obviously, East Carolina, the prolific top 5 ERA, but Charlotte, a high strikeout rate coming in. And here's true freshman Bristol Carter. That home run from Carter Cunningham provides a little bit of breathing room in what has been a tight game. And now, hold on a second. Associate head coach Toby Bicknell, I believe, wanted to make a pitching change.
I think this is one of those situations where he has to throw X number of pitches to the hitter before he can make a change.
Instead, Carter puts a bloop ground ball. He's got great speed and a nice turn there for the second out.
And now the umpire looks over in the dugout, and that'll bring Coach Bicknell out.
Counting the number of visits.
Yeah, and obviously his second trip in an inning, he's got to make a move.
Remember, head coach Robert Woodard was ejected during that rally in the 4th inning. So Charlotte heads to its bullpen here in the 7th, and we'll come back with plenty more baseball. Redshirt senior Tony Rossi comes in and out of the Charlotte bullpen. He did not pitch last year due to a season-ending injury. And now Rossi, who struggled in his last outing, 5 runs allowed at UTSA. He'll look to keep this a 3-run game here in the 7th.
Yeah, and this is a point in the game, man, where the Pirates would really like to have a couple insurance runs. We're getting late in the game, bottom of the 7th here, and Rossi coming in to try to hold these Pirate hitters at bay and give his team a chance.
Your Pirate puns are on point this weekend.
Yeah?
Hold a team at bay.
Oh, well, okay. You know what? And
more of a subtle one than a
obviously
overt one.
Unintended there.
That's the fun with these in-state teams matching up for the first time in the American Athletics, Charlotte and East Carolina. The 42nd all-time meeting. Pirates have dominated, winning 13 straight in the series.
Just got an interesting text message here. ECU Club Baseball got the series win today against number 3 NC State. The Pirates are the number 1 in the country seed
in club baseball.
And club baseball secured the number 1 seed in the regional. Go Pirate Club Baseball. Tons of success with that program, and just another example of how good baseball is in this area at all levels.
Even the general student body.
Those guys are a lot of fun to watch, and a lot of guys on that team that could play collegiately if they so chose, but they chose to be Pirates.
Justin Wilcoxon now up, facing Tony Rossi, the reliever. Yeah, club baseball is great because those are kids who just choose to go to school. They play on the weekends. There's a little fun matchup with NC State is also really good.
And I can promise you it was fun, but I can promise you it was spirited. And, you know, you've got kids that I did several. Shea Ward from over at Pitt Community College is one that comes to mind. That's a guy that had opportunities to go elsewhere. But, again, it had been a lot to him to be here in Greenville and stay at East Carolina. And those guys, again, high level of success have this year and have for years.
There's Rossi on 1-2. 96. There was some good heat on that one.
Yeah, it just shows you kind of where pitching is in the collegiate game now, where you've got a guy in Rossi that comes out of the pen on Sunday in basically the third spot today, and he's pumping 96. And, you know, what you also see is that doesn't phase these hitters because they've grown up in a velocity era.
In a time where pitching velocity injuries is at an all-time high. The ball's fouled off. It also has shown how these programs have embraced pitcher development, velocity development, and we're seeing it at all levels, both at the college and the MLB ranks.
Yeah, it was a rarity when I was coming through, you know, years ago to have a guy throw 90. You know, 86 was pretty firm coming out of high school, and if you had the occasional guy, I mean, I remember maybe the first one I remember was Brian Taylor, #1 overall pick with the Yankees years back, but you just didn't see it like you see it now.
And then a filthy snapdragon like that from Rossi to end the inning. We go to the 8th here in Greenville. A little offense, though, for the Pirates. Carter Cunningham kickstarts the frame.
We call it drive. The unrelenting desire to become the person you were born to be. Ignited by a moment. The realization that a future you could only dream of is within reach. At East Carolina University, you won't just imagine a path. You'll forge one through hard work and the success that comes without surrender. The journey that leads to your future. And this is where it begins.
Welcome back to Greenville, North Carolina, where Charlotte hits the road for a tough matchup at Clemson. The Tigers did respond today with a 7-0 win over NC State. And this is a busy road month. Carolina is about to sweep another ACC series, and they'll host Charlotte at the end of April. East Carolina, we noted some huge home matchups, including NC State coming up next week. But right now, come conference time, Mike, you look at Wichita, Memphis, South Florida. Those are all right now 3 to 6 seeds in the conference.
Yeah, you know, and Memphis has kind of been the spoiler of the league, taking one from UTSA yesterday. And, I mean, it's a quality club down there that seems to be putting some things together.
Well, this league up and down has definitely taken a step forward in the American. No players on the preseason all-conference for Memphis, and yet they're a game out of second right now. Jake Hunter continues to work out of the East Carolina pen and working ahead on Juan Correa, who maybe put his best swing of the series up his last time, roped one to the wall and was robbed of a hit. Jake Hunter ahead 0-2. First pitch 26 from Hunter, who's now thrown 3 scoreless innings of 1 hit ball out of the pen. This was kind of the role that East Con identified with Hunter. He could go 3-4 plus. He started multiple games. He's been long relief in a few more.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing this has done is allowed them to stretch Lunsford Shinkman out a little bit to where he's not being relied on, quite as heavily.
Line drive to center and a sharp base hit for Correa. That's his first hit of the series.
Well, you had to feel like a hitter like Correa was not going to go out of here without making at least a little bit of noise. But I tell you what, with his ability to drive the ball out of the park, you'll take a single all day and move on.
So the inning continues. Remember, this is still a 3-run game, despite Charlotte only scoring 3 runs all weekend. So it's Carson Bain's turn, and he takes a big swing. Bain deep to the wall, and that ball is
caught by Riley Johnson.
No way, he brought it back. 6 hits and a SportsCenter catch there from Riley Johnson.
Riley Johnson just doing Riley Johnson things. That's a heck of a play. We've seen him do it. We saw him run into the wall a couple innings ago. I mean, he is just an absolute spark plug for this club. What a great play. Ball's hammered by Bain. He thinks he's got it for sure. Riley Johnson says, no, I'll take that. Clearly robbing a home run for Bain.
Tip of the cap to that man out there. 2 game-changing catches.
We may see that one later on this evening.
So pitch hitter Thad Ector, team batting average leader coming in. He's coming off the bench today, the College of Central Florida transfer. I mean, this should be a 5-4 game right now.
I'll tell you, Riley Johnson is certainly putting together a resume this week for consideration for Player of the Week. I don't know how plays like that factor in, but that's 2 dynamic plays in the outfield we've seen in the same game, not to mention the offense that he's provided these Pirates.
So Ector will look to get his back going as Riley Johnson, he's basically robbed 3 hits in this game, if you go back a little earlier.
We're also talking about a guy that was questionable as to whether or not he was even going to be able to play this year coming out of the fall and early spring because of the shoulder injuries. He's done more than played. He's been a huge part of the success of this Pirate baseball team.
So now a 2-1 count on Ector. It's a healthy swing and a miss.
Yeah, right over the top of the 92-mile-an-hour fastball.
Maybe the toughest inning for Jake Hunter so far. And a full count coming.
Despite what the numbers say, we've talked about it throughout this broadcast, but this Pirate bullpen always has a way of kind of keeping you on the edge of your seat and, keeping you guessing a little bit.
Ector rolls one over the glove of Cunningham. And the first hit of the series for Ector. He wants 2 and has it. So now second and third for Charlotte with the tying run coming up. Think back to these last 3 hitters. A near home run, now a double, a sharp single. And here comes Austin Knight, the pitching coach.
And that brings their best hitter, Brandon Stallman. I say best hitter, maybe best player, the guy that again before this series started, Coach Woodard referred to as kind of the linebacker mentality, the leader of the club, the guy that conveys culture from group to group, as they had such a big turnover with 31 new players after 6 guys signing professionally, 4 in the draft. So this is a guy that you would think the moment's not too big for. the senior, there's probably nobody they'd rather have at the plate than Brandon Stallman right now.
And fittingly, in the town of Charlotte, he called him the Luke Kuechly of our team. Tough, grinded-out linebacker. A captain who stayed on staff with all those changes. And here he hits now with a chance to tie this thing up. And at the end of that play, the runner dove back into third, Correa, but there was nothing coming.
You know, interesting situation here. We had the left-handed hitting Stallman, first base open, and the light hitting DeFranco, right-hander on deck, but had a great at-bat in his last appearance. Kind of have to wonder if Jake Hunter's going to give Stallman anything to hit here. See if he'll maybe get himself out.
It's a Charlotte team that's hitting 1 for 7 with men in scoring position today. Nothing coming easy. Now Hunter falls behind.
Yeah, and that's a big miss by Hunter. You see Wilcox is set up down and away for the breaking ball, and Hunter yanks it across the plate. That's the kind of pitches that'll hurt you. And the wind again blowing out to right with the left-handed hitting Stallman. Does have 2 home runs on the season.
All of a sudden it's 2-2. Jake Hunter on 2-2. That's a base hit. And Charlotte's back within 2. That'll bring home Correa.
And I don't know if you saw that, but late the runner at second base, Hector, with the kind of the hand sign to the hitter signaling that the pitch was going to be away from him. I don't know if that had a whole lot to do with the success there, but you'll see Hector here, maybe just before that replay, he gave the sign that the catcher was set up away, and Stallman able to kind of push that ball through the left side.
So here's Charlotte putting a rally together here in the 8th.
Let's see if the 49ers will pull a little trick out of the Pirate bag here.
It's Dante DeFranco's turn, 1 for 3 today. Now the bunt, at least the thought of it, and no swing.
You know, and that's the challenge when you don't do this a whole lot and you get in a situation where you really need it to make it a 1-run game. It's you know, it's not a finer point of your offense.
Just 4 sack bunts all year for Charlotte. Wanting 5 and instead a strike. Now Carter Cunningham's asking about positioning here.
Yeah.
The first baseman. Here's the bunt again, and that's just outside.
Boy, Pirate fans really wanted that when that breaking ball was just off. A little bit of drama going here, Ev.
Here's Charlotte threatening already a run in. Go ahead runner at the plate. And DeFranco gets it down, but that is back to the mound, and the only play that time to first. So it's 5-4 all of a sudden.
Yeah, again, for a team that doesn't do it a whole lot, that's you know, pretty well executed. Scores the run and gets another runner in scoring position with 2 outs.
Now batting catcher number 9, Caden Hobson.
So one on that bat for Caden Hobson. The Charlotte team gets another hit with men in scoring position this inning. And now 1-run game for Hobson. Hunter able to challenge him. We've noted Charlotte 2 come from behind wins in conference play in moments like this.
And again, a team that hasn't been swept this year.
Hobson out in front of the changeup.
Kind of half-hearted swing there. He's sitting on fastball and gets a changeup. offense here at Clark LeClaire, getting behind Jake Hunter.
Hunter searching for 4 scoreless. An East Carolina team that's 17-1 in this park. And right now, Charlotte showing tremendous grit here in Game 3. Outpaced their entire offense from the weekend here with 4 runs. Now the 1-2. Got him. The splitter. Working well for Jake Hunter, and he escapes the threat. Here's Charlotte back in business here in the 8th. 2 more runs, and we got a tight one here in Game 3. Tight game here in the 8th inning. This game summary brought to you by Grady White Boats. So a huge 8th inning. One, Riley Johnson robs a home run, and then continuing the frame, Brandon Stallman brings in a couple. So it's 5-4 here in this 8th. First American Athletics series between these two. Right now, Charlotte's giving East Carolina everything they can handle in this 8th inning.
Yeah, we got a little look at Rossi in the last inning, recording an out on a punch out. Pirates going to have to handle a little velocity from him. He's been up to 95.
And now in a 5-4 game. Number 9 East Carolina looking to hold pace with a busy top 10 in the country. As number 2 Clemson goes down in the weekend set. Arkansas, they're in a do-or-die game with Alabama right now. That game's up for grabs. And the Pirates, who've won 5 straight, will look to continue adding some run support.
Be up to the bottom third of the lineup. Dixon Williams leading off for him.
Williams almost gets hit.
You know, it's kind of as Dion would say, that's a little bit of a business decision when it's 95 miles an hour in about the belt line. That's one that they pride themselves on taking hit by pitches when given an opportunity, but that's one might be a little too close to an area of concern.
Now the 1-0. That one right down the middle, a big swing.
We've not seen enough of Rossi to get a feel for his secondary stuff, but that fastball's got some life.
He's kept these ECU bats off balance.
You know, Rossi with that kind of mohawk look underneath the hat, kind of, you know, you can't help but think of the Wild Thing. You know, the big
heart sing.
Yeah, the big velocity, and played in the California Penal League, and
he's a flamethrower out of this pen, touching 94, 95 most of the outing. And a slow roller, so Rossi's got to hustle. Good coverage there for the first out.
That may be the first breaking ball we've seen from Rossi, just enough to induce a little weak ground ball to second base by Dixon Williams, and he gets over to cover to collect out one.
Charlotte will have 9-1-2 in its order in a one-run game, so you do wonder one, how important that game-saving catch from Riley Johnson is, and two, how important some run support is if you're East Carolina. Here's Colby Wallace. Off his hands.
I think the resolve here for the Pirates is he's gonna come at your first pitch fastball, and it's kind of he's gonna challenge it. So you may as well go up and get off big swings at him if you get something you think you can handle.
Good breaking ball there.
Yep.
Rossi coming off his worst performance in a Charlotte uniform. 5 runs in just 1 inning at UTSA. But he certainly found a different touch here in this one.
Oh, a little grunt there, 96 miles an hour. He reared back and grabbed that one.
Sounded like Serena Williams serving at Wimbledon coming up.
A few scouts in attendance today, gave them something to admire. You know, another one of these Niner pitchers with 43 strikeouts in only 28 innings. So big strikeout numbers. And relatively low walk numbers, only 19.
Now the 1-2. Throws it hard again, and that sneaks past the first baseman. So a 1-out single for Wallace.
I'll tell you what, that young man's had a heck of a day. I know that ball, I'd be interested to see how they judge that error or hit, but that ball's hit well, and he finds his way back on base again. And again, that's critical from the standpoint of, you know, that with 1 out in the inning, brings up the non-spot guy, but you got Riley Johnson standing on deck. So we'll see again what Coach Godwin does. He's going to bring everybody in and have a chat about this, because this is that's a big run out there. Again, we do have the wind moving out to right field. So, you know, a home run is certainly in play on both sides.
That is ruled a single, so a 3-hit day for Colby Wallace. You wonder what's up through the mind of Cliff Godwin, who's always pushing the button.
You know, the thought process here is, right now you got a 1-run lead. A solo home run can tie you. A 2-run home run can put you where you got to come back and win it in the 9th. So this extra run, you know, if you keep the 2-run home run from being able to take the lead, could be a big deal. So manufacturing a run here, if possible, is what the Pirates are after.
So it's Joey Barini's turn with 1 out, and he goes after the first pitch.
Coach Godwin looks down at that game script of plays, and
every year those scripts just get bigger and bigger.
Yeah, you know, and it's kind of a neat system. Those things are printed out regularly and changed, so if anybody got their hands on it, you know, it's top secret stuff.
Yeah, the mental mind games of trying to pick signs. This is the one area you can still do it in college baseball. The running game, a little situational.
Well, and you're not going to get the sign, but you could get a tendency, or you could pick up a tip by a player that gives you an idea of what might be coming. And that pick is just to see if by chance Barini's going to show bunt.
Behind the serenading sound of Pirate faithful cheering today.
You know, it's amazing how much the batting average swings in a 2-1 count as opposed to a 1-2 count. A 2-ball strike, a 2-ball count favors the hitter big time.
Barini the other way. Great stab.
He's off.
And Correa just holds his foot on.
Wow. Good stretch over there by Correa. I thought it was going to be enough to pull him off the bag.
It does move the runner in scoring position.
Again, a pretty good indicator that it did not pull him off is no argument by Jeff Palumbo, associate head coach over there at first base. Nice strong throw, and again, good stretch by Correa to hang on to the bag by a cleat, and time to get Joey Barini.
Riley Johnson's turn here with 2 outs. Riley has been nearly unstoppable in this series.
I mean, he has had a great one. Defensively, offensively, I mean, he's done it all.
6 hits and has reached base 9 times on the weekend. And then Rossi flips a great breaking ball.
If I'm not mistaken, that is like 34-game on-base streak for Joey Barini. 32, 34, something like big number.
33 officially. We'll split the difference. So the 1-1.
I tell you, that is a lively fastball. 96. I mean, that's up, and it had some arm side life on it. That's fuzz.
This crowd's waiting to erupt here in Greenville. And Johnson gets fooled.
82 behind 96 is pretty difficult. You know, you've got to be ready for that fastball and that breaking ball just a bit much for Riley Johnson.
Rossi on 2-2. Goes breaking ball again, but this gets away. And really no chance there for Hobson.
You know, and in one play that kind of sums up the Charlotte weekend, where it's, you know, that so close and things kind of bounces going the wrong way and little lapses here and there, and that brings Carter Cunningham to the plate, who hit a home run his last time up with runners on first and third. Again, 2-out damage being done by the Pirates.
So the man who homered his last time up, Carter Cunningham, now makes his way in.
Catcher steps out and gives some first and third signs and lets everybody know what his plan is. If Riley Johnson were to take off.
First and third here for Cunningham. That ball gets away from Hobson, and a gifted run for East Carolina.
Yeah, again, that's kind of what we've seen out of this Niners team all weekend, where an extended inning due to a, in this situation, a pass ball or a wild pitch on third strike, and the Pirates take advantage of it.
You see the reaction there from the Pirates, taking advantage of a big mistake for Charlotte. A 4-run fourth comes to mind on a very close pitch that was called a ball and extended the inning. Now a wild pitch makes it 6-4.
You could go back through this series, Evan, and look at very specific moments that have had a huge impact. And at the time, not that they felt insignificant, but they didn't feel like they were going to have the impact that they've had on the outcome of the games and of the series. Again, just ball gets off of Hobson's mid, and when you're throwing as hard as Rossi's throwing, you got to be in the area. That's a hard pitch to catch when you're that far away from where the intended pitch call was to try to corral that one.
1-2 nibbles outside.
97.
Whew. Good luck. But Rossi's got the stuff.
Yeah, I mean, he's got the look, and you mentioned last year he missed a lot of time with an injury, but he has certainly got a big league fastball.
Now the 2-2 skips away again. And as that ball dives in front of the plate, that's a really tough block for Hobson.
Yeah, that's one that if he makes the block, it probably seems mundane because we're so used to seeing these guys do that. But that's a tough deal for him. Again, high spin rate, high velocity pitch. The plate area is a little crusty. It's been a long day, long weekend. Hobson's probably a little tired. And they have basically thrown the Pirates back into scoring position. Now
the 3-2. Great breaking ball, and Rossi able to respond with a punch out.
Sitting fastball and gets a breaking ball.
A wild pitch results in a run. Charlotte down to its final 3 outs. They want to extend this series when we come back. Welcome back to Greenville, North Carolina, where Chris Kaler gets the save opportunity. First appearance in a week since the Elon matchup for Kaler. He was part of a no-hitter in that game. Now he's looking at a part of a sweep. And sort of a new role now for Kaler, who hasn't been in a save situation a ton. He'll enter here in the 9th inning.
Yeah, another one of these Pirate pitchers that have to be ready to go at any time. We've seen Kaler start games. We've seen him in middle relief, but this is a new one. The grad transfer from George Washington. Another one of these Pirate pitchers that works with great tempo, great rhythm, and he's kind of a nibble and bite right-hander. 86 to 89, and his breaking ball's his difference maker. So we'll see how he matches up against this 49er effort here to extend this game.
So Shane Taylor, who was subbed out yesterday defensively, typical leadoff threat for Charlotte. He'll come in and hit in the 9 spot now.
And after his kind of mental snafu yesterday, nobody would like to make it up to his team more than Shane would.
3 come from behind wins when trailing in the 9th inning for Charlotte this year. And Chris Kaler, who's not accustomed per se to this closer role, but with Lunsford, Shankman, and Beal both already appearing in the last 2 days, it's Kaler's turn. He nibbles a strike. Charlotte scored 2 in the 8th, and the Pirates get a gift of a wild pitch to make it 6-4.
Shane from Las Vegas.
Viva. He's been a spark plug this year. 17 runs scored at the top of the lineup for Coach Woodard, and there's strike 2.
That's what Kaler does. Again, he works quick and pounds the corners.
Kaler here on 2-2. Rocks and fires a strikeout as Taylor went around swinging.
Challenges him with the fastball top of the zone. Again, he's not overpowering stuff, but he can locate it. And when he's doing that, he can be very, very effective. Just a challenge fastball. Again, top of the zone, and Taylor can't hold up.
Bianchina takes a strike. Remember, head coach Robert Woodard was ejected in the 4th inning. And this club has responded since that moment. Great resolve from Charlotte today. There's a base hit, and the tying run will come to the plate. Third time reaching base for A.J. Bianchina. And if Furch gets on, then the home run hitting leader in the conference comes up.
You'll see there, just breaking ball catches a little too much in the heart of the plate, and Bianchina with a good piece of hitting to drive that ball back through the box. Yeah, you're 100% correct. They certainly would rather get Furch here than have to deal with Correa.
There's a swing and an opposite field hit. Furch hits against the shift. And all of a sudden, Correa comes up in a big spot.
Yeah, one swing could tie this thing.
So Furch with his 3rd hit of the game. How about the resolve of the 49ers have yet to been swept all year long. And now some arms warming in the ECU pen.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Lunsford Shinkman is available for today after last night's outing, but I would, if he is, I don't see him down there, but if he is available, I'd be very surprised if you didn't see him at some point. Little chat there by the catcher, Will Coxon, to settle in. Kaler still looking in the dugout, and that'll bring Cliff Godwin out.
Okay, so Cliff Godwin's going to his pen. There's Jackson DiLorenzo, who would look to be the guy coming in. And Cliff Godwin here to make the pitching change. New arm for the Pirates in the 9th. We got plenty more to go here in this 2-run game. Welcome back to Greenville, where Jackson DiLorenzo, who was the closing pitching of record Friday night in the win, now comes in. And this is an East Carolina team that does not have their traditional closers available, so some new arms, new options here in the 9th inning.
Yeah, you know, DiLorenzo's had some success in this role, and he's a guy that fastball slider guy comes in and goes right at you. Again, like you mentioned earlier, he capped off the no-hitter on Friday night, so they give him the ball here and see what he can do. Again, this is kind of indicative of what we've seen out of this Pirate bullpen, where they kind of pitch themselves into a little bit of trouble and then pass the ball to somebody else and see if they can have some success. So 2 runners on, the go-ahead run at the plate.
So Jackson DiLorenzo will face a huge power threat. Juan Correa, who got his first hit of the series last time up, continues to lead the AAC in home runs. Charlotte scored 2 in the 8th to make things interesting, and now threatening big time here in the 9th. Facing an arm, and Jackson DiLorenzo, who's not allowed to run in his last 3 appearances dating back to the start of March. A much different task here. Save situation in the 9th. And Correa chases a slider.
Yeah, first pitch slider out of the freshman. Another one of these freshman players that the Pirates really look forward to watching grow up.
The 0-1 goes slider again. Well, that pitch is called outside.
To the ire of the fans. That's a pretty quality pitch there, just off the plate, though.
Two singles for Charlotte back-to-back. And a foul ball here. East Carolina's won 13 straight in this series, dating back to 2017. And they're in prime position with Charlotte threatening here in the 9th.
Four straight sliders to Correa,
who blasted a fastball his last time up. That was his first hit of the weekend, snapping an 0 for 10 start.
Hit a ball hard to center field in the 5th as well.
The 2-2 works the count full.
So the question here is, do you challenge him with the fastball or go back with the breaking ball? Let's see what Coach Knight sends in on the pitch com.
The 3-2, not even close, and the bases are loaded.
Yeah, that's just kind of a non-competitive pitch there that didn't require a whole lot of discipline to lay off of that one. I'm sure if you go back to the 3rd pitch in the frame there, Pirate fans are thinking, hey, we really would have liked to have that one, and I think it could have been called either way. Umpire didn't see it as a strike. But it kind of went downhill from there for DiLorenzo as it relates to his locations.
So Carson Bain gets an opportunity. Bases loaded, 1 out. And all of a sudden, DiLorenzo struggling to throw strikes.
And I was just going to say before that pitch, now the ball in the dirt, the breaking ball, the slider that he likes to throw becomes a factor with Wilcoxon and making sure he keeps everything in front back there.
DiLorenzo misses again with nowhere to put Bain.
Big moment for a young freshman to enter.
The 2-0 pitch is rocketed to right. This ball's got a chance, and it's gone!
Out of the park.
Grand slam for Carson Bain. Puts Charlotte in front.
Yeah, he's sitting slider and gets it, and not a ton of bite on that thing. And Bain stays inside that pitch, drives it down the line, and stays just fair.
Blonde hair don't care. Carson Bain with his biggest swing of the weekend.
Tell you what, the Niners are fired up, as they should be.
This is a club whose manager was ejected early in the game. They have responded here, 2 in the 8th, 4 in the 9th. So here's Thad Ector, who subbed in last inning. And now control an issue for DiLorenzo.
Yeah, not a ton of movement down in the Pirate pen. One lonely guy throwing. And
all of a sudden, DiLorenzo may be forcing the hand here of the Pirates.
See it here, Bain just stays on that pitch down and away, drives it down the line. Looked like it was going to be potentially a foul ball. Almost falls going around first in his excitement, but it hugs the fair pole and a grand slam.
So East Carolina forced to go to its bullpen here.
You know, this is one of those situations that DiLorenzo can build on and learn from. It's a tough lesson to learn, but a lot of lessons in life are.
We'll take the timeout. New arm coming in for the Pirates when we return. Cliff Godwin forced his hand to the bullpen. Apex native Jaden Winter comes out, the junior who's lower on the totem pole in terms of big-time relievers, but was excellent against Elon on Tuesday. 4 innings, all scoreless, and now looking to clean up what DiLorenzo and Kaler could not.
Yeah, we've seen Jaden Winter, another one of these guys that we've seen him in starting roles and kind of up and down as needed. We'll see if he can quiet this all of a sudden hot-hitting 49er offense.
A 49er team that's yet to be swept all year, and there's something to that resolve. Of course, the 2 runs in the 8th big, but then the grand slam here, the real difference.
Yeah, they're no strangers to coming back in the 9th. You know, this is something they've done several times this year. There you see Bain again still getting kudos from his teammates.
The tough part is now you got to finish it off on the other end, and we've seen
That's
both
right.
teams struggle with that. So here's Jaden Winter. And this is the test for any team. It's a 5-game week for East Carolina, finding the right amount and type of relievers to close out games.
You know, it kind of seemed like coming into the day that the Pirates were where they needed to be from the standpoint of pitching that had been used and kind of where the pen was. But at some point, you know, you get into the depth of your bullpen and it can create challenges. And this is a Charlotte team that just won't say die, won't say quit.
Charlotte had scored 1 run in the first 20 innings of this series, but they found offense here late. 2 in the 8th, 4 in the 9th. Ector pops one up. Good catch by Dixon Williams for the second out. The Pirates in the bottom half will have 3, 4, 5 coming up. This has a feel with the Masters where you just got to par holes. No bogeys.
Yeah,
stretch.
yeah.
Hit your pars. Do well on your par 5s.
Well, and I think Bain would have had the equivalent of an eagle there.
The grand slam, the difference. As Brandon Stallman pops one up. This will end the inning for Charlotte. East Carolina in danger of losing its 2nd home game all year. 1 at bat to work with for the Pirates when we come back here in Greenville. So Charlotte, trailing in the top of the 9th, hits a go-ahead grand slam, and Cameron Hansen, the Chattanooga State Community College transfer who's pitched multiple outings as a starter on the weekends, has since moved to the bullpen in the last month and now comes in for his first career save opportunity. The numbers are a little misleading for Hansen. That said, he's got 3 outs to work with here in this 9th inning.
Yeah, another one of these guys with gaudy strikeout numbers, 35 strikeouts and only 28 in the 3rd pitch. So another guy that clearly has strikeout type stuff as the numbers reflect. The ERA, and we talked about it with Coach Woodard, that the ERAs were not necessarily reflective of how their pitchers have pitched. they've just had some kind of weird things happen behind them, which we've seen all weekend.
So now it's up to Cam Hansen, his first save opportunity. Has lost 4 games on the weekend as a starter. Now he tries to snap a 4-game losing streak for Charlotte, and in comes Jacob Jenkins-Coward, who today has been held hitless, but has had a nice weekend. 3 RBI in the series. It's an East Carolina team that's only lost once at home all year, and that was in the first weekend in March. That's what's on the line here in this 9th inning. And Jenkins-Coward blasts one to center. Nolan on the move, and a nice running catch.
You know, I'm not even sure did he catch that with his glove, or it almost like he caught that like almost like a football wide receiver, but on a dead sprint, a great angle he took on that ball. Little conversation with the folks out there in the jungle.
And you know what? That's DeFranco, who moved out to center between innings.
How about that? The shortstop continues to play great defense. Yeah, he catches it with the glove, but that was a heck of a catch by the all-purpose DeFranco.
Fantastic play, robbing a base hit from JJC. And now it's Cam Clonch. He launches 91 for a strike.
You know, tough spot here for Clonch. Just brought in the game as a pinch hitter in his last at bat.
Clonch lays off the breaking ball. We've seen some great center field play from both these teams today.
No question.
We had Johnson robbing a home run. Now it's DeFranco, the shortstop, robbing a double. And yet East Carolina is still threatening.
You know, you almost want to get the feeling that the Pirates want to get the 2 outs because they've had so much success all series with 2 outs.
Have scored 8 runs in the series with 2 outs. Clonch down to his last strike.
So another big shift by Charlotte here with 2 strikes. Third baseman's playing where the shortstop would typically play, and everybody else is swung over to the first base side of the bag.
Clonch on the ground. Good stab by Correa. And Charlotte is 1 out away from taking game 3. So it's on the shoulders of the speedster Bristol Carter, who has 4 hits in the series. It's been a difficult out at the plate. And now a massive shift on for Charlotte defensively. Carter hits it into the wind.
Oh, the right fielder fell down.
Trips, and it's a base hit. Ector fell down, and a double brings the tying run to the plate.
I mean, literally no obstruction, nobody around him. He just, the grass monster got him. He just fell down.
I'm not sure if Ector gets to this ball, but he does trip, which leads to an easy double.
Yeah, you see it. I mean, he just lost his footing, and you're right. I don't know if he makes that play either way, but are we seeing another one of these weird things happen to this Charlotte team?
That has had so many mental mishaps this weekend. Not necessarily errors, but plays they'd love to make.
And that, you know, that's just bad luck. That's just misfortune out in right field by Ector. Such a good player, too.
Here's Justin Wilcoxon with 2 outs. And he pops one up. A chance to win it for Stallman. Not enough room.
Yeah, and he's not going to get a whole lot of help over there when the Pirates are fighting for their life. Not that they would do anything to
no one's going to catch him.
To hinder him, but yeah, he certainly wasn't going to get the home team love there.
East Carolina's last home loss was March 3rd. You have to go back a minute.
And with that flag starched out to right, I just feel like, I mean, Wilcoxon is a guy that can hit a ball out of this park in the blink of an eye.
The 0-1 from Hansen. Looking away.
I'll be very surprised if they come into him just because of that very reason. I mean, it doesn't, as strong as Wilcoxon is, it doesn't take a bolt. I mean, a fly ball will be enough.
6 home runs this year for the ECU catcher. He's got a hitter's count now. Hansen has never earned a save in his Charlotte career, a former starter who faces a ton of pressure here in the ninth. Now the 2-1. Wilcoxon fights it off. Homegrown native Dixon Williams due up next.
Here we see the Pirates back in this 2-out, 2-strike situation where they've been so good all weekend. See if they can put another one together.
Hansen on 2-2. Good piece of hitting. 5 2-out runs for the Pirates today. They've been so clutch in these moments, Mike.
Yeah, I mean, I know we keep kind of going to that, but it's pretty impressive what the Pirates have done when you would think they were otherwise down and out.
A 2-out double keeps this game alive. Now Justin Wilcoxon here. The 2-2 pitch. Line to right and a base hit.
It's going to score one.
It's a single for Wilcoxon and a 1-run game.
And I think you'll probably see a pitch runner for Wilcoxon here to get a little more speed on. But that's the way you do it, right? You get your hit, you pass it down to your teammate Dixon Williams. That'll bring Austin Chrisman on to run
the way
bases.
These Pirates continue to step up with 2 out, it's incredible.
It's amazing. It truly is. And that is the fortitude with which championship type teams are built, is they have to be able to battle, and you're never out of it.
How about the homegrown Greenville native Dixon Williams here, who's had a huge week. A couple of doubles. He's put a game away Friday night. Now he looks to extend one here in Game 3.
And that'll bring Coach Bignell out of the dugout. The
acting head coach today with Robert Woodard ejected back in the 4th inning. Every time Charlotte has thrown a counterpunch, East Carolina's really had an answer or resolve, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, it's these last few innings have been a lot of fun. I mean, it's, again, Charlotte kind of scuffled through the first couple of games from an offensive standpoint, but put up 8 runs here today, 6 in the last 2 frames. So Coach Bick must be satisfied with what his pitcher had to say. He'll go back, and I'm sure that's a little discussion on what their thought process is and how they're going to pitch Dixon Williams.
You do wonder the speed of Nathan Chrisman over at first, how that plays a factor.
Be very surprised to see them do anything with Chrisman. It's critical that Hobson keeps the ball in front of him behind the plate. They certainly don't want to give up the free 90 feet to the base runner at first base.
Tying run at first here with 2 outs. And Williams pops up the first pitch. DeFranco, the shortstop, comes in, and he has it. Charlotte, for the first time since 2017, wins a matchup over East Carolina. Entertaining Game 3 goes to the Niners.
You know, and most impressively, Charlotte again avoids the sweep and finds himself in a position to come back and win a game, win down. So again, a lot to be said for the resolve of this 49er club.
Charlotte trailed entering the top of the 9th, but the go-ahead grand slam. And what a difference maker. The huge swing from Carson Bain to earn a Game 3 win.
Yeah, again, tough at-bats all weekend by the 49ers. They finally pay off late in this game, and pretty good job out of the bullpen by the 49ers, kind of back into their staff guys to keep the Pirates mostly quiet. So yeah, congratulations to the Niners on a big win, and again, I think it's a big deal that they found a way to avoid the sweep with a clutch grand slam late in the game against the number 9 team in the country.
What a sign of respect between these two in-state programs. This was an entertaining weekend. Pirates dominant early, but Charlotte showing some great resolve. Carson Bain and crew fueling the comeback. For Mike Mullis and our talented crew, I'm Evan Budrovich. Thanks for joining us here in Game 3. Charlotte takes down number 9 East Carolina and salvages Game 3 of the series. This is a presentation of ESPN. Charlotte, the comeback win here in Greenville.